foundational Black American stand-up, foundational Black Milwaukeean stand-up. If you are proud to be Black, if you love yourself, if you've been counted out but you still rose above and went above and beyond, welcome to the show. This is Outlaw Radio, dark and lovely on a Wednesday evening. 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time is when I cut the machine on. The Outlaw family will be along as we go, as we mosey, right? I'm very happy to be here tonight. This is just an absolute pleasure to be able to do. I realize more and more how blessed I am to have this gift and to have this platform. So every time you see me cut this microphone on, I am living the life of Riley, right? I've checked off a bunch of boxes. I'm ready to go.
And you got the cool new background.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
You got the cool new background. You know what I mean? Blessed by the best, right?
Listen, man. Hey, welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing tonight, man?
I like your little background. I like your little background.
Yeah, you know how we do it. You know how we do it. Come on, you know how we do it. Yeah. Oh, I see you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hey, man, how you doing tonight, man?
You got your little background done and stuff.
Come on, man.
Yeah, got my shit popping.
Hey, they told me I was supposed to compete, so I'm just trying to compete, and there's more to come, man. It's more to come. It's more to come. I'm not. Listen, the one thing people got to understand is I'm not going nowhere. Outlaw Radio ain't going nowhere. People need to understand that. I'm not going to stop doing this. So I'm just going to do what I need to do to keep it going. But, man, forget about me and my new fabulous background, man. How you doing tonight, man? What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I'm talking about? I came in at just the right moment. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to compliment it. I see it's more finished now than it was last time. But yeah, you know what I mean? I'm good. Look, I'm still looking at the background. I'm caught up in it for a minute, man. I'm like, that shit fly.
Hey, man,
fly. I done forgot to run my line and everything, man. But yeah, that is fly. I'm looking at my background like, man, I got to figure something out here. I got to do something kind of slick here.
Oh, this is playing.
Hey, Kev, you know how you be inspiring me and shit. You know what I mean? I didn't even have a line there first until I heard you and Jay running y'all spiel. You know what I'm talking about? I'm saying, man, shit, man. I got to step my game up too. Let me figure something out here.
First of all, shout out to my wife because she told me months ago, she's like, well, you need to change your background. I was like, what you talking about? So she sent me some patterns similar to this, like something that she had saw. And I was like, damn, that's, and then I looked and I realized that is actually the new wave when we start talking about acoustics, because these are sound pads. It's not just wallpaper. These are acoustics. Yeah. So it's, if you go in the studio, if you've ever been in a studio, soundproof joint, you got to have this, the walls have to be lined. So shout out to her. And then my son, he said, nah, Pop, yeah. You know, all that red and all that, he's just too busy for you. Just do this, like, you know. So yeah, man. Come on, man. Let's talk about that, man. Shout out to you, man. Wow. I got something special for you tonight. I got some you're gonna love tonight. I promise you. I promise you. Y'all share the show. The number that you can call if you want to participate in the conversation is 262-202-5131. I'm gonna say that again. As a matter of fact, I got to put my ticker up. Let me put my ticker up. There we go. So it's 262-202-5131. Our chat room pops as always, and I like to show you an example of that. You know, a lot of times when you listen to the show, In addition to the individuals that are on the panel, the speaking panel, there's a chat room, and then there's a phone. So I'm literally singing while playing the piano and the guitar at the same time. I mean, how you fall behind? Say my comment, answer the phone. I get all that kind of pressure, and I appreciate it. Here in the chat room is Jesse Parrish Early, aka Sharon Crumey, says peace outlaws from the Mile High Income and soon to be see deported city. Shout out to you and Shabaka. My cousin Mariah Johnson, how you doing, sister? How you doing? How you doing? Mariah, yes, ma'am. My little cuz. I have to start to show off because I did lose a member of my family this week. Rest in peace to my cousin BB. The thing is, he's my cousin Niecy, Marilyn Brooks. It's her husband. She is a Barnes. She is my first cousin. It's her husband. He passed away. So, condolences to her, prayers for my cousin. Everybody know her as Niecy, but her name is actually Marilyn Brooks. I'm not giving away information. I'm just saying. And she doesn't mind. She's an entrepreneur in the community. She's well known. She's had hair salons. Just they call her Niecy Hustle for a reason. So my cousin, she lost her husband. So I want to give condolences to my little cousin Breon. BB, man, he was part of our family. He's married to Niecy. So no matter what family gathering you go to, BB's there, right? And so, tremendous loss for a lot of people, man. You got in your family, who's who, right? There's some people who come and go, and then there's people who that are part of it. Like I'm like with my wife's family, I'm that dude. Like for the last 20-some years, that's Sheila's husband. So rest in peace to cuz, man. What can be said at this point? And at this point in our lives, we lose people, right? It's unfortunate, but it's a natural thing because I realized that one day I gotta go too. You know what I mean? And so I've had conversations with my children. Hey, one day that's gonna be Pop. That's kind of how I was with my parents. Never imagined that I'd be living for a long period of time and they'd both be gone. But it happens, and you got to deal with it. This is part of life. You can't go into the ditch behind this. There's a grieving period that you deserve, and you should take advantage of, and people should respect that. But eventually, you got to come up out of that. You got to come up out of it. And you have to realize that, well, that's life. And it sounds harsh, and it sounds, but that's life, man. People, you got to come and you got to go. No pun intended. Right. You got to come and then you got to go. Come on. Best thing you could do is have a child. Right. But even the best thing you could do is have a child and leave a legacy. You're still coming and going. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So rest in peace, cuz.
Rest in peace, all over again.
Hey, tell my mom and my daddy I said what's up. Somebody asked me one time, Kamar, they said, do you believe in ghosts? And see, I'm one of those people, I believe in aliens, right? And I believe in, the supernatural to a certain degree. And they said, do you believe in ghosts? And I said, I think I kind of do. And they said, well, would you be scared if you seen one? And I said, no, because what I'd probably tell that ghost is, hey, can you tell my mama and my daddy to come holler at me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, boo, no. Can you go
Hey, who you know?
Go get Cooley, go get my mama, go get my daddy, go get my granddaddy. Like, go get my people, man. I'm not scared of you. I
know you know somebody I know.
Man. Because I know they got a spot. Right. I know they got a spot where they all at together. So that's how I process death, man. That's how I process it. Mariah said, man, praying for our family. Well, and shout out to you and rest in peace to cuz Stevie, who we lost for the end of the year. That's what I'm saying. It's that season. My mother-in-law just passed. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it's dates, man, on your calendar. And you keep looking around saying, man, people dropping like, shit, am I next?
Man, listen, hey, it was a period of time. It was a period in my life, man, where all in just a couple years, my grandmother died, my auntie died, my father died, my mother died. You know what I mean? Like everybody just was dropping like flies. You know what I mean? And it was hard for me to get through it because now I start. Well, it's not now no more. You know what I mean? I done dealt with that. But you know, I got to a point where I start feeling like, well, who's next? And I start looking at everybody, and you know what I'm saying? And it was just a weird ass feeling, you know. So yeah, man, that sucked. But I'm glad I came out of that.
Yeah,
I
and
lost mine at the wrong time. My mother, you know what I mean, my mother passed, and I had to turn myself into prison soon after.
wow. Wow. Oh my God.
So I had to deal with it different. You know what I mean? I had to deal with that shit different.
Hey, that's a hell of a bus ride, man.
What meal do?
That's a hell of a bus ride,
straight
man.
Up. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. And you know, like I love everybody. Shout out to everybody that, you know what I mean, I was doing what they could to help me out through that moment. You know, everybody was coming to get me, taking me out, keeping me busy, keeping me doing shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like from that period, from when my mother passed, for me to turn myself in. Like, shit, I never really got a chance to really grieve until I got locked up. You know what I mean? So, like, dog, I went through a lot mentally in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, like I said, barbecue a meal do, nigga. You know what I mean? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? Got my shit together while I was in there before I come back out. I mean, I was still hurting and everything, but my mind was right. I was in the right path. I was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
but it was just a cold way to deal with it. But I'm the only child, so how else? You know what I'm saying? It's the only way I knew was to get with myself.
I tell you this, I tell people all the time, my mother leaving here was me. Actually, that's the closest I've ever been to losing my mind ever. I've mentally, I've been pretty tight my whole life, right? Like except for some, some crazy shit here and there, like But when my mom passed, I walked on that line. I looked over on the other side, and I had to ask myself, why shouldn't I jump over there?
That hit different.
Yeah. So I tell people all the time, when somebody loses someone like that, all I'm gonna do, my natural reaction is just to give you space. I'm gonna give you space because that's what you actually need to grieve. And for me, I was articulating it where people would say, well, are you okay? What do you need? And I would tell them, well, what I need for y'all is to leave me alone and get the fuck away from me. Like, and people are like, oh, he tripping. No, I was dead ass. Come on, I needed hours upon hours to sit by myself.
You know, that's to them though. To them, it sound like you're right. You're right. To them, it sound like you upset.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just leave me alone. Get away from me. You know what I mean? To them, it sound like you upset. But really, you just really saying what you need. This is what I need.
I was blessed enough to.
And in those moments, a lot of the time, I'm sorry, my bad.
I had hours. No, come on. I literally got hours where I was by myself, where I could sit and just reflect for hours upon hours. And it that was the best thing I needed. I needed because I truly needed everybody just leave me the fuck alone. Like just back up off me, man.
Yeah,
just back up off me. Shout out to JC Terry. Rock, what it do, man? Rock and roll, what's good? Rock in the chat room, come on. Yeah, well, I wasn't. It's not like
Rock? I just seen him a little while ago. Byron came too.
When? I think Kamar's delayed because
I said Byron came too. He came today.
Okay, Kamar, I think you got a delay because I think you.
No, I said slow. Byron.
No, I heard you. I want to make sure we ain't got no delay.
All right, give me a minute.
Okay. Yeah, Outlaw Radio, man. We got to get this audio together. Y'all hit like, y'all hit share. I'm realizing like I need likes. Like I don't do shit for likes, right? But I'm like, damn, you kind of need likes for Facebook to put you in the algorithm or whoever.
That's how you
So
get
for what it's
paid,
worth,
man.
well,
That's how you get paid too.
I don't do Outlaw Radio for likes, so I just don't. I want you to like it, but
I ain't
sometimes the
saying you
reality,
do, but
sometimes people don't like it, Kamar, but they come back and listen again. Sometimes that makes
how about we just don't beg for likes?
right. Well, Jesse, you got your
Hey, how
birthday
about we
coming
just
up?
don't beg for likes? You know what I mean? They cool, but we don't beg.
Jesse said tomorrow's his 38th birthday. He said, or C-Day, Outlaws. I don't know. We don't blood or crip, so we don't delineate. We don't differentiate.
Gang banging, Jesse,
Right.
gang banging.
No, we don't do that. He said, happy 38th birthday, man, with a B. Right. Mikey said, what up, brothers? Kevin, Kamar, much love and respect. Hey, man, Mike, much love to you, man. I'm glad, that I know
do, Mike, how you feeling, man?
You've been going through some stuff with your health, man, and I'm hoping everything is, man. We're blessed every day. You still here, so shout out to you, man. Neighborhood, you know what to do. One of the fellas. Earl Henny said, "Great day, my brother's chocolate milk. Lost my beautiful mother February 2011, and she's always on my mind. Her birthday is 113. I lost my mother December 28th of 2006. Right." Birthday is June 28th. It's something I celebrate just in a solitary fashion every year. Still remember it. He said, thanks to the Outlaws. Listen, we got next Monday coming up, right? With the 20th. And people, why is that significant? Well, first of all, it's Martin Luther King's birthday. Michael King is what we call him here on Outlaw Radio. Martin was his rap name. But it's time once again, Kamar, because his birthday is coming up, and we look back now, especially as foundational Black Americans. Shout out to the delineation movement. As a matter of fact, if you don't understand the delineation movement, I really recommend you listen to our show. Just go back, go do like archive shows, because the delineation movement is what has led to us self-identifying as foundational Black Americans. That is part of it. So when you start to say, and I hate for people to be wrong, Kamar, when they say, well, what is the FBA? How do I join? Who the leaders? Well, no, there's no leader. You don't sign up. You're born into it. And the greatest thing about this is you don't even have to recognize it at this point. You might not even know that you are actually this. It is the delineation movement. It's not called FBA. It's called delineation. We gave the Webster meaning of delineation on this show. We are self-identifying. We are. If you don't want to be a part of it, then do what you do. My thing is, just don't come when the sense of this makes sense and people say, no, absolutely. And something comes from it, Kamar, a benefit, if you will, maybe a financial pratfall, don't come in then. Don't come in then.
Right.
Continue to say you're not part of this.
Right. Continue to say you ain't Black. Keep saying that shit.
Right. No, I'm not. Right. Or I'm not American.
I ain't Black. I ain't American. I ain't no. Oh, you. Stay there. Keep that what they say. Keep that energy.
Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Yeah. Because the thing is there's a difference between saying like, okay, I'm not Black. When you say I'm not Black and you say I'm not American. So I think people misconstrue what maybe where your DNA comes from versus where you come from. Because you could have Spanish heritage and be raised in Deutschland. You know what I mean? So yes, there's some African DNA within us. Look at us. Look at the melanin. The name of the show is Dark and Lovely. You know why? You know why I call it Dark and Lovely, Kamar? Because I wanted to shout out anybody out there who's ever felt insecure because of their skin as a foundational Black American. If you ever said, man, I'm too Black, like my skin is too dark, or somebody said, you black ass, your black ass. or your lips. You felt like, man, I got some big ass black lips. Have you ever felt insecure about any of that? This show is dedicated to you. Dark and lovely. Being darker doesn't make you unattractive. Identifying yourself as a black person does not make you a subhuman. It doesn't make you a savage. It doesn't make you an idiot. These are all things that have been created by the opposite team. And there's many teams. We're in a league. It ain't just us against white people. People got to get over that. Kamar, you know, I rarely ever quote any of these pseudo-intellectuals, but I heard Claude Anderson say one time, Dr. Claude Anderson say, when he thinks of racism, the way he defines racism wasn't about color or culture. It was about the competition for finances and resources and wealth.
That's
right?
It. Economic.
Right. Yeah. So when people say Kev don't be, no, Kev is aware. I've heard him say that. Mm-hmm. I put some paint where it ain't.
That's so the show is profound.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was where when I hear something that means something, Kamar, put it in the bag.
Right,
all the rest of this shit, I just keep moving.
I'm gonna use this one day.
I'm gonna pull this shit out of my ass one day, Kamar.
Right.
No Diddy. None at
all.
Yes, sir. So now it's time for us to start establishing maybe some principalities, and we talk about being on code. So let's talk about what the code is as foundational Black Americans. We don't have to write it down. We don't need a charter. We don't need anybody to take the minutes. My brother said the revolution will not be televised. And I don't think he meant it figuratively. I think he meant it metaphorically. Because we know with the rush, and I realized the genius of that is he's watching television and radio and modern media start to be able to be utilized to spread false narratives as well. And so in terms of revolution, he was saying, if you're looking for it on television, you won't find it. If you're looking for the messages in pop culture, you won't find it. It won't be televised.
Right.
So if he made that poem today, he'd probably call it "The Revolution Will Not Be on the Internet." It won't be, the revolution won't be virtual. Right? You know what I mean? You got to understand this. You have to be able to process information, and that should be one of our principles for foundational Black Americans, because you have to look at historically our contribution to everything. Everything.
What if the revolution was all in the mind?
Which is where it's at.
You know what I mean? Like, change your way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Open up your mind. See
what about
more.
This?
You could do more.
What about this? Maybe you ain't right all the time.
Yeah.
Have you ever been wrong? Have you ever misjudged anything? This ain't got nothing to do with how dark-skinned I am. This don't got nothing to do with whether, you know what I mean, or I'm light-skinned or what. This is me doing these kinds of things, like being able to admit, okay, obviously I misinterpreted that. There's a flaw somewhere, and usually it starts with me.
Hey, I had a video today where I said have discipline enough to be able to shut the fuck up and listen to somebody tell you where you fucked up.
There we go. I mean, sometimes I think people get, okay, the ability to speak well comes from the ability to listen well. A lot of people don't understand that. They think it's like Valium. It's quantity over quality. You're not an effective communicator unless you can actually listen as well as you speak. Because if not, you have no sensible response. You're just saying some shit. You're just
you must be talking about me trying to talk to Miss Beverly last night. Man, that's exactly how that conversation was.
Welcome to the show, Courtney. How you doing?
Man, I'm asking questions. You must be white or something. Like, nigga, I'm trying to see what the fuck going on. Like, what?
Miss Beverly is very aggressive on Facebook, like a lot of people are.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of people are. she's, if and shout out to Miss Beverly, even when she comes on the show, when it comes to Democrats and Republicans, because I always preach being nonpartisan, which I also think should be a principle of foundational Black Americanism, is to be nonpartisan, to be party poopers. Why should I align myself with either side of the fence, Republican or Democrat? I reserve the right to make my mind up when I have all the information. Fuck a donkey and an elephant. She won't. Her and I have agreed to disagree on that several times here on the show, and that's why, And I don't trigger her. Like, I don't go on Facebook when she puts her post up and try to say anything because it's her post. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time for that shit. Okay, I share it in the People's News Network a lot of times. I actually do. So shout out to Miss Beverly.
Yeah,
a lot of people, man, you know where it's going if you oppose what they thinking, or if you question what they thinking, even, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it goes horrible.
Yeah.
And a lot of them got the peanut gallery with them too. They cousins and shit and all this, and they be on you like, well, what are you saying? And now I'm responding to 2-3 motherfuckers in the back. Like, this is a supreme waste of my time. You understand?
I just want to understand the situation, but
I just
never mind.
No, I'm not gonna do that. First of all, look, I want to show y'all something. Y'all see this? See this? These are not texting fingers. These fingers ain't made for texting, right? Look how fat my fingers are. I can't even text with 2 hands. Look, my thumbs is too big, cover the whole goddamn screen. I don't have time to be, what do you call them, Twitter fingers? No, when I do a comment, it'd be like this. It takes me like 20 minutes to put the fucking comment. And I get worried about punctuation and shit because I see people comment that can't spell word for damn, and I'm like, you should have just shut the fuck up. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know it's called social media. They should call it social spelling media for some of y'all. Like, y'all, something is for sale, right? But it's not S-A-L-L. It's S-A-L-E, right? Go ahead. What was you saying, Courtney?
So let me tell you about that white lasagna I made yesterday, which means it was a lot of dairy going on, but nigga, it was a chicken like Alfredo, and I had the ricotta and the cottage and the Parmesan and some spinach in there. Woo! Oh, shit was incredible.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. It sounded like it was a real good time for you. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you
thank you.
Shout out to you and your white lasagna, right?
Yes,
white lasagna.
Yes.
I usually eat Italian lasagna. Like, it's red and yellow and shit. Like,
I just figured I could do this when I saw a lot of people just do Alfredo sauce, and I'm like, that ain't right. You got to add the cheeses in it, the ricotta and
I'm gonna say this. I have a problem with white sauce. I can't eat it. Like, I can eat ranch dressing, but I can't eat other food with white sauce. Like, my wife loves like what do you call it? She loves Alfredo and she loves pasta, but if you put white sauce on it, I ain't eating it. No, I don't do white sauce. It's a thing. It's a thing.
You do white gravy then?
If it's turkey or something like some chicken, but yeah, maybe. But I don't like white sauce. I have an issue with it. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Like, when it's all no. I don't really do it. So I don't know. Pear said, rest in peace to Gil Scott Heron, who is the author. I mean, he's been dead. He's the author of The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by the Last Poet. Right. She said, oh, this nigga go. Nigga been go. Right?
Oh,
no! No, that's not your baby. That's not your baby. Remember Don't Be a Menace? Kamari said, that's not your baby.
Right. That ain't your baby.
Ain't that a bitch?
Hey, now my son came to my room and he said that was incredible. Well,
he might like white sauce. When he grow up like me and get old, he probably won't like white sauce no more. It's a man thing. It's a man thing. John Fletcher said, what up, Outlaw family? Keep preaching and teaching. I don't like to look at it as preaching. Maybe I don't even like to look at it as teaching. I would like to think of it as maybe just enlightening enlightenment. I think that's what we do best here on the show, because sometimes we will introduce some things that you probably have not heard about yet. And so it'll be in your, when you go to work, you end up looking like a genius because you can say the shit you heard on Outlaw Radio and people are like, damn, you deep. You be like, yeah, that's me. I'm a real one.
So wouldn't that be like we taught them a little bit then?
Well, we enlightened them. I don't like to say taught because taught would indicate homework and testing. I used to teach. So when you teach, there has to be assessments and evaluations. Enlightenment comes without the, like, I don't need to grade you if I enlighten you. If I teach you, I got to go back and test and see if you really retain the information that I gave you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker. The devil is in the details. Kamar told me one time, and I keep saying, and I say it's mine now, but I think he said to me first, words mean something. So don't be saying some shit and you don't know what it means. I'm going to call you on it. What the fuck you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? That shit to do with the price of tea in China. Dion said, he said you bogus as hell. It probably was only good to you. Oh, he's talking about Courtney's white lasagna. You know, Dion got to get it.
That's what I was saying. He up there hating.
Is Jesse agreeing with me on white sauce being bad for masculinity? I don't know. Come on, you eat white sauce? I mean, you don't even like, you change your whole diet, like, but not brand.
Most white sauce is dairy. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? Most white sauce is dairy, but I mean, I do like vegan Alfredo.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'd do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Alfredo. I got a problem with it. I can't eat Alfredo.
No.
I can't. No, I can't. I love Italian food, but I'm like, nah.
So, what are you getting Italian food with all red sauce then? That's what.
Yeah, I'm like lasagna and veal parmesan and chicken parmesan and baked ziti and spaghetti and that kind of thing.
So they ain't never whipping it around in the wheel for you, which means it'll probably be white. You ain't doing none of that.
I don't know what they do to it, and this is not a racial thing. I'm not trying to make a race joke. I'm actually saying I don't like white sauce. Like, so if my wife will tell you, if she'd be like, no, he don't like white, he won't eat it. I won't eat it. I don't eat white sauce.
Okay.
Whatever that is. But I want to get back to this because Martin Luther King's birthday is coming up. You got sidetracked, obviously. But
about some white macaroni and cheese, Kev.
Well, no, hold on. We don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about food no more. I don't want to talk about food no more. I want to talk about Martin Luther King's birthday because I want to look at the actual impact, especially now. We get the benefit of the doubt. We get to look back. We get to be armchair quarterbacks. And in this period of time right now, which I think is one of the most unique periods of time we've had since then, which is the delineation movement and the establishment of what foundational Black Americanism is. I think now it's time for us to take a real educated look at what Martin Luther King tried to do. And now we can actually evaluate the results, Kamar. Like I said, when you teach, you give a quiz and a test to see if you learned anything from it, right? The first thing I would say with Martin Luther King, and I'll never get to ask this question. Maybe if I got to talk to some people who knew him, but I'm doubting that will happen. I can't understand how he prided himself on following Mahatma Gandhi, knowing that Mahatma Gandhi had been a lawyer in South Africa who had written articles published about the inferiority of the Africans in South America. I mean, in South Africa. I'm sorry, South Africa. He was an Indian from India. We can call them Indians, but it wasn't even nobody even went to Martin and said, well, Martin, what do you think about the things he wrote as a lawyer in South Africa in regards to the Africans there? Now, maybe Martin could have explained it. Maybe he could have said because of his Christian beliefs, he chose to forgive and this kind of thing and da-da-da-da-da. I don't have any information about that conversation. So that was the first thing. How could you pattern yourself in terms of that pacifism and that, that kind of thing after somebody who did not like us? That's the first thing. The second thing is, after looking at what actually created the civil rights movement, which was the bus boycott. Because let's be honest, before Martin Luther King came along in the NAACP and the Southern Leadership Christian Conference, Black people have been crusading for their rights for years. Once again, don't let them tell you we were happy slaves. That is a false narrative. Don't let them tell you the Black man never fought for his freedom. He never died for it. You are absolutely misinformed.
Right.
What made it official in the eyes of the United States, in the United States, we talk about capitalism. So was it Alabama? We're in Alabama where we do the Montgomery bus boycotts. It knocks a hole in the bottom line fiscally. They have to, for the first time, say, well, wait a minute, maybe we was wrong about this, Negroes. I felt like
on the front.
I felt like they totally missed that point and went to saying, hey, let us sit at your restaurants. You know what I want to do? I want to sit in your restaurant even though you don't want me there. I really trust eating food coming from your kitchen in a place where you don't want me there. I want to do that. As opposed to saying, okay, fuck it, and fuck y'all restaurants. We'll have our own. Just give us the same ability in terms of being able to invest and get bank loans and stuff like that to start a business. Give us the same deals when we start talking about distributors with food, with raw, supplies, so I can function effectively.
Hey, me and Tyson got a chance to say, fuck y'all restaurant in Bronson, Missouri. All their restaurants was down there like that. They sold Trump shirts, Trump hats, all kind of shit in them motherfucking restaurants. Hell no, we ain't eating in here. We went to the grocery store. Hey, look, we had a whole condo. We went to the grocery store and we didn't got shit. And we cooked in the condo.
Why?
You know what I'm saying?
Why am I begging you to take my money?
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Y'all acting funny and shit, treating a nigga funny. You gotta be kidding me.
And then not on top of that, you crusaded for federal laws to be passed so that you could go there. So they don't have to pour ketchup on your head anymore. They just hock a loogie on your sandwich when they're making it.
Right.
So when I look back at, this is one thing, I can't speak anything against Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Nobel Peace Prize winner. I think he became the face of a movement. I don't think he necessarily knew that it would happen this way. But let's be honest, the man was a hell of an orator. He was a genius. A lot of people don't know he's a child prodigy. He went to college at like 15, 16 years old. But he was also a young Negro who was empowered because his father was a major pastor of a large church. So they had what we would define now as money. They had bread. He got to go to college. Brothers wasn't getting to go to college like that back then. I don't know if we watch A Different World and the Cosby Show and think, all niggas could have went to Hillman in the 40s. No, it wasn't like that. So I look at his contribution in totality. He wrote some great books. I think as a person who could have been maybe a motivational speaker or something like that, he was great. But I just think when we talk about him saying once he realized it's a bad decision to force integration on anybody. Now, let me straighten this out for y'all, because this is where I can piss black people off. See, I can piss black people off too. Because I think they was wrong for forcing integration. Come on. I think the United States government was wrong for forcing integration. You know what I think they should have done?
Very true.
I think they should have focused on economic development. I think we as black people, foundational black Americans, should have focused on our infrastructure to say, fuck your restaurants. I don't want to live in your neighborhood. Just allow me the resources and the assets to make my community function properly.
I think they would have kept burning that shit down forever.
I don't think so. And once again, when we talk about Black Wall Street, which everybody said it burnt it down, but it was rebuilt and integration killed it. Just like Bronzeville here, we talk about when they put the expressway in, yeah. But what also killed the black business economy here was integration. My mom, I'm fortunate enough, she came here in December of 1959. And she would tell me all the time when what's now MLK used to be 3rd Street. and she would say this was black businesses all the way down, because this is the only place we could shop. So all weekend, flea markets, restaurants, everything, it's all black down here. But as soon as they said y'all can go to the Grand Avenue, y'all can go to Brown Deer now. Hell, y'all can go to Wauwatosa, to Mayfair. We fled.
Left all our shit.
Sorry, Mr. Johnson.
Left all our shit.
Sorry, Miss Jones. Right?
And them people damn sure wasn't going to Mr. Jones.
No. Mr. Jones had to sell a store. As a matter of fact, Kamar, one of the craziest things, and this is going to be in my book, that this happened to be during the mid-'80s when the crack epidemic was rolling in, when I would be on this bus with my mom. And so all this stuff was vacant. It was all dilapidated. It was all broken down. And she would say, I remember when this was all black businesses. Like, we made a mistake here. And I think Martin Luther King, if he got a chance to really look at it, would have said, yeah, we should have been fighting for empowerment instead of inclusion. Now, once again, I'm armchair quarterback. Hindsight is 2020. But that's how I feel. It doesn't make me not honor what he did. I think he took tremendous chances. It cost him his life, basically. It cost him his life. All of that peace, turn the other cheek led to you getting shot in your face. Think about the irony of that, Kamar. I stand for nonviolence, but I got shot in my face. Right? So this is one of these things that contributes to when you say, why do foundational black Americans deserve reparations? Simply because you systematically destroyed any kind of vestige of leadership in our community over a 15-year period. We talk about from 1960 to 1972. When Chairman Fred Hampton is murdered for the young folks, you know, Huey P. Newton is locked up, and who knows what they did to Huey in prison, because it was never the same.
Get him cracked, didn't they?
Well, no. Huey went through a whole different kind of thing. Yeah. Huey went through, it's my belief he went through some reconditioning drills. I believe his mental was tampered with. That's my opinion. It's not gospel. Let me get to the chat room, y'all, before we start popping our shit on this. Ace Cooley, shout out to Ace, man. Welcome to the show. Ace was with us on Monday. Don't y'all forget about this damn phone line. Hold on. I gotta go up further. Shit, Courtney, I'll be behind on this chat room before you start talking shit to me.
I know.
Jesse says that's a false narrative. I agree, Kev, about us not fighting for our freedom. He said, why would you want a seat at a lunch counter begging for a cup of coffee from people that hate you? It doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to my mom. Come on, I'm referring back to her because this is the individual that I told me what this whole struggle was about, right? From knee high to a flea. And she would say, it didn't make sense to me to go into a restaurant and get my head knocked in for the same hamburger I could get from a black restaurant. I'd rather go to the black restaurant. It tasted better. It was seasoned better. So that's what I'm saying. Stop selling the narrative that they was all just, hey, okay, Mr. White Man, yes sir, no sir. No. We foundational black Americans, we innovated rebelling for your freedom. People don't want to give us that credit. And we earned our freedom, or whatever you think it is right now. He says, fuck your restaurant. Hell, now we ain't eating there. Right. Well, you know, I listen, my wife and I have gone into establishments before, you know, having the money to go, saying, hey, let's go somewhere and eat. Let's go to a nice restaurant, baby. I want to, you know what I'm saying? When you know how it is, come on. You said, baby, I'm going to take you somewhere nice tonight. And we've walked into some of these so-called fancy restaurants, be it downtown, wherever we were at, out of town. And the look and the reaction from everybody when we walk in, we both look at each other and say, we ain't eating here.
Well, how about this? They walk up to you and say, you can't wear baggy jeans here.
I never heard that when I've been seated and not been served for a long period of time.
Yeah, the motherfuckers there. And then, hey, look, and have a sign on the wall to describe black people to say this stuff we can't do here.
I love the one that says, if you come in here smelling like marijuana, we're going to put you out.
Right.
I like that one.
But I mean, I understand that. You know what I mean? I can understand.
Yeah. But who they talking about? Who does that? Right? Like,
right.
I mean, well, the white man might be high too, but you know, they didn't smoke in the car, right? Yeah, the young white boys
sit out.
The stoners can't
sit outside and blow it down. My bad, kid. They ain't sit outside the restaurant and blow it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pass me that blunt. Now let's go eat some escargot. Right? Like it's just not happening. A said if we were fighting for freedom, there would not have been a Nat Turner. If we weren't fighting for freedom, there wouldn't have been a Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, O.W. Gurley. We should have followed Malcolm X or Ernest Chili Willie Thomas. I think Malcolm made it hard to follow him. Because he died, but also because he came to a fork in the road. And I'm such an admirer of Minister Louis Farrakhan, and listening at his take on what actually happened, not listening to, paranoia and things like that, and even seeing the documentary of how this whole thing transpired. I just feel like Malcolm made a mistake. It's like I love Tupac, Kamar. I love Tupac. I love his music. I love what he stood for, but he made a mistake. He made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And it cost him his life. And that's how I kind of look at Malcolm X. Because I can't, like, this is me with, just like I just said, me with Martin Luther King. Like, how do you not know that Gandhi had been a racist for a long period of time? Now, maybe, once again, maybe Martin Luther King said, hey, I'm a Christian. He repented for his sins. I will never know because my research ain't that deep and I've never spoken with anybody who knows him that well. Jesse says integration was forced on us by FBAs, DOAs, and freedmen. I agree. We should have built our economic base up first, beforehand, if at all. I mean, you're talking about a period where all of a sudden we had black lawyers, we had black litigators. Thurgood Marshall was a Supreme Court judge, right? Why wouldn't we say no? Fuck the social. Let's look at the legal. What makes this legal? The redlining, right? The moving around of funds that are supposed to be allocated for people of color or whatnot that are, City Hall fucking you over. Everybody playing a game. The absolute assistance in providing and pumping our community with drugs. That wasn't accidental. That was intentional. So if we'd had lawyers prior to that, right? If we'd had our shit set up right, it'd have been like, no, legally you can't do this to us. People say, kid, that don't mean shit. They would have burnt that shit down, da. Like you said, Kamar, revolution starts in the mind. Mm-hmm. So if you can conceive it, you can make it happen, right?
That's right.
But we had black scholars.
Don't nothing happen unless it start first.
There you go. You got to bust a nut to get her pregnant. Or else there's no baby. You talk about artificial insemination. Well, somebody had to put that there, right? You know what I mean? Let me see. Ernest said, just because something is rebuilt doesn't make it cool. I'm not, you know what? Once again, I just look at it like, well, knowing what had happened to Black Wall Street, I think when it was reestablished, black people should have been wholeheartedly more invested in it. That's what I'm saying. So maybe it was rebuilt, but the rib shack ain't the same, or my barbershop. But if it's rebuilt, then we go in there and we make it ours. We don't walk away from it. So I can go shop with Massa. I'm just saying, man. Just saying. Stop thinking one way and think both ways. MLK Jr. Boulevard in Denver used to be 32nd Street. We all know here it was 3rd Street here. Everything popped. That's the main vein to downtown Milwaukee. If you think about it, Kamar, that's the main vein. You just jump on the 19. That's how you get downtown. Well, in my neighborhood, you jump on the, you walk up to Atkinson, jump on the 19. But it takes you, it's all the breweries, the hotels, everything, the Buck Stadium, everything's on the way to Mecca until you get to Wisconsin Avenue, and there was the Grand Avenue Mall. Yes, the phone is on, Dion. I don't know. I don't see that you called me. The phone is on. He said we should have followed Dr. Khalid Muhammad, rest in power. Yeah, I think it, but shit. I thought Dr. Khalid Muhammad was a powerful presence. Once again, when I see him walk away from the minister, when I done my research on what actually happened, where's the separation, I look at that almost, Kamar, as the same thing Malcolm did. Like, he gets to a point like, you doing too much. Calm down. I told you don't say nothing. Oh, the chickens come home to roost. I told you don't say nothing. Now we got a problem, Kamar. Ain't no coming back from that, because now I know you doing you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, how can I ever trust you again? That's broken now. You're no longer my, oh, you got kids by women and da-da-da. That made you jump out the window. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I don't know. Khalid Muhammad, great dude. If you look at what he did with the Million Youth March, and then there was a riot and some people got, do your research. Jesse Perry says right now, shout out to Johnny Cochran. He was going to sue the U.S. government for reparations before his untimely passing or assassination. Was he? Shout out to Johnny. Rest in peace to Johnny Cochran. He was obviously a great litigator. But Johnny Cochran did a lot of civil rights stuff in L.A. long before he did OJ. And a lot of people don't know that either, Kamar. They think he just kind of popped up with a suit on at OJ trial. Johnny Cochran, all the way back to the early 60s in Los Angeles, fought civil rights cases against the LAPD for their transgressions against black people in the community. He had done that for a very long time. So shout out to Mama Jenkins. She said watching. Ace Cooley said it was the Boule niggas that got us caught up with integration. The Boule? Was it the Boule? Yeah.
I think more than just them wanted to do it.
Well, when you say the Boule, they was straight, Kamar. They was the talented.
I know. I'm just saying. Right. I'm with y'all. I'm just saying. I think it was more than just them. No, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm with you.
There was a lot of black people that wanted integration.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. No, I disagree with that.
Right. A lot of black folks thought that white school was gonna teach their kids better.
Yeah,
so they wanted that integration. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We wanted white ice. It's been colder forever. He said, LOL, right, Kev got to bust a nut to get her pregnant. I mean, I'm just saying, cause and effect. Cause and effect. If you can conceive it, like, you know, I hate people say that'll never happen. You don't know. You don't know. So why would I listen to you? A said Black Wall Street was rebuilt within 2 years. People were afraid that the same thing would happen again. Our bad. Shit. Oh, well. I mean, Kamar, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't live my life in fear. That's not a real existence. So, hey, man, I'm finna go down here on the Ave. Like, that's why we hung out on the block.
That's that thing also we was talking about the revolution being in the mind.
Yeah, I'm not scared. Fear starts in the mind,
you know what I mean? Like, really, like, okay, we don't need no Black Wall Street. We don't need to all live in one place. We know how to fuck with each other. We know how to find each other. You know what I'm saying? Support. Yeah, we know where to go when we need a plumber. We know where to go when we need an electrician. You know what I'm saying? It's in the mind. Man, people got to stop thinking we got to make one big city. That shit ain't going to happen here. They'll blow that shit up, y'all. That's Black Wall Street.
Yeah, well,
they'll blow that shit up. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you do got an army. Your army in Milwaukee ain't got shit on the army of the United States. We just got to be smart. You know what I mean?
I wish I could show it. I'm sitting here now with my Willie D. I don't know if you remember back in the days I had the Willie Dynamite, the movie poster from Willie Dynamite. Yeah. And in that movie, Willie Dynamite, if you've ever seen it, people talk about the Mac and all this. Willie Dynamite is the greatest pimp movie ever made, especially when he tells the other pimps, like, Why should I be confined into one place or only be able to let my women run and I'm controlling some wild, aggressive animals? We go everywhere. So we used to say on the show, Earth is our turf. So why do it got to be black this? No, all this shit mine. Right. All of it's mine. Even the parts you think is yours is mine. Because if I don't come spend my money here, you won't have it. Dion, I finally got you in. I missed your call a couple times. There was nothing wrong with the phone. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Man, you already know a nigga gonna call when I get through the boonies. None just, just sitting back listening to you, man. Agree to disagree with some of the things you say.
Why not? All. Why not? It's Wednesday night. Why not?
Yeah, but for the most part, though, I feel you on the integration part, and you, but a person did make a good point to me about integration, because even if we was still separate, segregated. But he was like, if we didn't integrate, then knew where we all were and limit resources on the confinement of where we were. But you see, that's how it is now, because you could be on 60th and Center or wherever Milwaukee and Wauwatosa meet, and Wauwatosa is at a surplus and Milwaukee is in a negative. You know what I'm saying? So all the resources do sometimes go to the outskirts and the outlying communities. That's just like I was talking to my principal today at my school, because what's the mayor name? He was at the school the other day. And, I was just like, dude, she's like, well, he's the first black mayor that was elected, and, this, that, and other. But I was like, he didn't have no balls when he went to Madison, and he just let them say what they gonna do to Milwaukee, instead of saying, well, fuck it, let Milwaukee go bankrupt. Because it could have been we probably could have got a loan from the federal government. Who's to say, you know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there. But, I don't know him as a person, but as far as his leadership, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told her. But yeah, the integration thing, and as far as that, I looked at it as you took a group of people that was basically infants, and really, because from 1865 to 1965 is 100 years. When we wanted to, the civil rights. Yeah. And you took a people that was in their infant state that didn't really have too much established, far as to have a stronghold on something, and you integrated them with a powerhouse. And like you said, the people, they didn't want us there. And that was their resentment.
Hey Dion.
What?
Hey, real quick. You said they didn't have anything going, but I think what the United States recognized was they had economic power, because the money that we had, we were spending amongst ourselves. They wanted our money. Like even if you talk about right now, we don't have anything going. That's a misnomer as well, because we are the most wasteful spenders in this country. We keep this economy going. Nobody is a bigger consumer than us. No group. Consumer wise, we spend more money on hair and skin products. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Jordan wouldn't still be bringing them shoes out if it wasn't for us.
I look at it like this though. I wasn't living back then, but when they said no colored and no Mexicans and no dogs, they didn't give a fuck if you had a pocketbook that hung down to the ground. They didn't want your money.
No. What I'm saying is they didn't want your money, so we spent it with us. And what they realize is these motherfuckers is making a lot of money. We're losing money. We're losing tax revenue. Our businesses none of their businesses could have exploded into what they became without us. Kmart don't become Kmart without black people. Target, Walmart, none of these places become what they are in terms of corporate giants without us spending our money there. Don't ever get that twisted.
Again, Jordan shoes wouldn't be Jordan shoes without black people.
Nike, right? Like
Nike wouldn't have been Nike. Adidas wouldn't be Adidas. None of that shit would be none of that shit without black people.
Even down to this fact, Kamar, because there's a special on the History Channel that used to be called The Foods That Built America. And they talk about fast food chains, right? And at one point, all these restaurants were only in the suburbs and in the outskirts. Wendy's and Kentucky Fried Chicken said, nah, them niggas got money. And they came into They were the first urban fast food restaurants. Revenue exploded. Along come McDonald's. Along come Burger King. Along come all these other restaurants because they recognize the spending power of Black America. Once again, we start talking about Dr. Claude Anderson when he's pointing out our economic situation, which we should have taken advantage of, but we did not. Because in our minds, we thought, okay, well, if we don't spend our money with them, we won't have it anymore. When we should have been understanding, if we spend our money with ourselves, we'll have everything to ourselves. Nike would have been a Black company. That's all. I'm not trying to cut you off, Dion, my bad, but I just disagree with you.
No, I'm listening to you.
I just disagree with you on saying we were in our infantile stages and we didn't have anything going. To say we didn't have anything going when up to this point, we had absolutely built this country. To say that our labor, listen, what empowered the Northern Industrial Revolution more than the influx of Black employees from the South via the Great Migration? You think that's why the North said freedom niggas. We need them up north. Y'all been eating fat off of them all these years with all this free labor. It's the Industrial Revolution. We putting out cars. Let these niggas come to Detroit so we can pay their ass a low wage so Henry Ford can get his nut. We are instrumental in the economic development of this country. There's no way it can be ignored, and they've long recognized that because in their opinion, money make the motherfucking world go round. That's the game they play right now, right? Where they insulated themselves at is they came up with this whole stock market system and going public and having investors, right? This is how they separate themselves from us, because if you're born as a relative of Henry Ford, you have generational wealth. So you can say, I can take $100,000 of my income and put it in bonds or whatever when I'm 5, and by the time I'm 35, this shit's $500,000. I come out of school, I got a trust fund. I'm investing. We ain't partook in the stock market yet, effectively. Now that's one thing they done made sure they gatekeep the shit out of that. Like, nigga, you hold on.
We barely trust the banks. Yeah.
That's right, but that's money. That's how the market dictates the value of the dollar. It's a stock market for a reason. You have the opportunity to go in there and say, hey, if I'm smart, I can look at a small startup and invest in it today, buy low and sell high. I'm creating money because I'm making my money make money for me. We wasn't able to do that. So I got this, what the song say, my last $2, but I'm gonna have a good time off this motherfucker, right? So I'm gonna purchase something. I can't invest $5. All I can do is put it on a bag of weed or some liquor and feel a little bit better or gamble it away. It's not real investing. So
I don't think we understand investing, though. That's
once again, I'm illustrating to you why we don't. This is one of the games that they played with us, and we just kept saying, well, fuck it. I might not feel good on the inside, but I'm gonna look good on the outside. And guess what? We still guilty of that today. Oh, you got a $500 Gucci belt. If it's not the Batman's utility belt, I'm not paying $500 for it. If that motherfucker ain't got a grappling hook, a fucking flare, and some batarangs, Kamar, I'm not paying $500 for a belt. You understand? But we will to take a picture in. That belt holds your pants up the same way my $7 belt I got off Amazon does. You see what I'm saying? Like, so economically, this is where if we're going to do anything in this country, we need to start with the economic thing. Hold on, let me catch the chat room. He says facts, Ace Cooley. It was them damn boule bourgeoisie Negroes and them old niggas at the time who wanted integration. I think the boule was already integrated though, Kamar. They was already making power moves with white people.
That's why they was the boule.
Right. They didn't care.
They was integrated already.
They was already in the system. So maybe some of their white benefactors was saying, hey, tell you what, if you bring people to the stable, you can, you know what I mean? Like you can partake in it and then you're more empowered. But so maybe they saw integration in that regard. Like, no, go shop at Target, go at Kmart, like or Sears or JCPenney. But you know what? All them stores,
Montgomery Ward.
All them stores is gone right now. You know why? You want to know why? Because niggas shop on Amazon. We took our ball and left, Kamar.
Right.
That's why your shit ain't good. That's why there ain't no Gimbals, ain't no Boston store, just JCPenney, Kmart. That shit's gone.
There's still a JCPenney's now.
Well, it's minute as a fuck. Where's it at in Milwaukee? Where's it?
There's not one in Milwaukee. There's one in Menominee Falls.
Okay, well, when the
They
last
probably
time
do more sales. They probably do more sales.
I just went there. I bought me some nice pillows from there. And
my point is they're no longer the juggernaut that they once were because our spending habits changed in terms of who we spend with. When I was growing up, it was a JCPenney in Capitol Court, Bayshore, Northridge, the Grand, everywhere. We took our money. When we shift how we spend money, shit changes. That's why the Jordans, Kamar, like you pointed out so gracefully, people wear Jordans with suits and tuxedos now.
Yeah, I'm sick of Jordan.
They make a Jordan football cleat, a Jordan ice skate, a Jordan baseball shoe, because that's what we wore.
Niggas blue Jordans.
To us. Right. And he's a charcoal black man.
Yeah, hoe ass nigga too though.
Can't call him that. Can't tell him what
to do.
He
probably don't even wear Jordans no more.
He does a lot of philanthropy. Like people talk shit about that.
I'm talking about personally, like people will be like, they'll see him in public and try to speak to him and shit. He don't acknowledge them. Keep
so
going.
You don't acknowledge to everybody who speaks to you, but he a hoe ass nigga.
Yeah, he all right.
Wait, you don't hold on. If motherfuckers came up to you around the clock, Dion, when you come like, hey man, I ain't got time. Dion,
oh my God, I can't be behind this car.
I know you can't. You can't. That's a good metaphor. I can't be behind this car.
It's snowing up here, and I can't be behind nobody that's fucking around, and they slam on their brakes and fuck me all over. You know what I'm saying?
Mama Jenkins in the chat room, she said, good evening, my Outlaw family. January 20th is approaching, and let's not forget what we all heard will take place. President-elect Donald Trump will sign 100 executive orders on day one, and he will be a dictator. This is in the Time magazine, published January 13th, 2025. Just remember the price of eggs will be down. The Russia-Ukraine war will end, and pardoning January 6 prisoners, amongst other things. The hostages will be freed, deportation of the immigrants, and this will be the last time to vote. I know damn well they trying to build an ICE center out here. When we talk about ICE, we talk about immigration, customs, and enforcements. They're trying to build a center out here in the Northwest side.
I just don't believe that this will be the last time we vote.
I don't know.
I feel like if that could have been done, there's been a whole bunch of racist presidents we done had. And I feel like if that could have been done, you know what I mean, it'd have been done already. One of them motherfuckers would have had the idea, like, you know what? I ain't never giving this spot up. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it would have happened. There's a lot of stuff, I don't know, man. Like, maybe they just trying to scare us and put a bunch of shit in the news or whatever, give us a bunch of shit to talk about, because don't y'all be saying they put shit in our face and have us talking about stuff and then do some other shit behind our back? You know what I mean? Who here with me? It's just me. Dion, y'all gone? Kev, you gone? What the fuck happened here, y'all? What's going on? Well, welcome to the House of Vitality on Outlaw Radio. I'm your host, Kamar Carter, the witch doctor, the black man's brother, the black woman lover. Hey, but yeah, man, I just feel like a lot of that shit, you know what I mean? These racist ass presidents, they done did before, you know. I still feel like it's something to it. I don't think they'll be showing their hand either. And if so, you know what I mean? We just going to have to figure out what to do then. We've been figuring out shit since the beginning of time. We've been thriving through this shit. You know, I mean, I don't know how much of a scare tactic it is, but I just think that it could be.
Had to step away for a second. Dion, he couldn't hear you because I
he couldn't?
No.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's no fear mongering and no scare tactic. I think what he's doing, because this has been something that they've been planning, but basically the chicken's gonna come home to roost because they ain't thought this shit out. You know what I'm saying? So it could be an upheaval.
I think this will be a time of great conflict. I think what you just said is probably the best way to phrase it. I think this will be a time of tremendous political upheaval because what he's going to try to do, see, I think I'm with Kamar in that it won't happen the first day, but I think he's going to begin to try and start processes which will do what you're saying he's going to do. But I think the people at the end of the day will react. I just don't see America taking it from the back like that long term. I feel like there's enough people here who still understand, hey man, hold on, something's amiss. Let me kiss the chat room. Go ahead, Kumar.
I was gonna say, man, you know how I always be talking about how I don't think it's gonna be a race war with black people and white people or black people and Mexicans or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I think the race war is actually gonna be white people against white people. You know what I mean? And this could be the beginning of that. Trump trying to tear down the whole system they built. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think they ain't fit to fight against that shit?
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, Kamar, you hitting on a hell of a point. That's why I said political upheaval, because people are going to go. We still have a two-party system. He cannot make that illegal. That's not going to fly with the American people.
It might wind up being a three-party system.
More than that, you never know where the coup is coming from, right? It's going to be a crazy time.
Maybe his party be a different party.
This is going to be a crazy time because he's a crazy individual. He is absolutely. He is as he's he is a to me a wild individual.
Right, we can all agree to that, though.
That's what I'm saying. He's an old white man who's a billionaire, who's also a quasi celebrity, who has like managed to commandeer a very, very powerful position. It is not the most powerful, but it's very powerful. And
I don't even think the presidency gonna hold any legitimacy no more after him.
So I don't think he got enough. I think there's always going to be somebody to try the shit. Like we said this earlier. This is why we can't count ourselves out, because he did what he did. That's enough to show you any goddamn thing can happen. That's why a motherfucker got to keep pushing. Nobody couldn't tell dude 20 years ago. He probably said this shit. Well, one day I'm fucking good. I'm going to take that goddamn White House. Like, that'll be tripping, man. But with a thought, just somebody to come up with the thought and say, dog, I want to do this. And if you're in a position where you got money and wealth, let's make that shit happen. I'm digging what you said.
He ran for president a couple times.
Well, he won once, we know, and he won the second time. Yeah. So he just run. Yeah, they said they always blow our shit up because it's a threat to the United States if we are to organize. Reason being, the United States and the world wants to use us as the slave class. I don't believe that. I believe the new niggas are immigrants. That's what's about to happen. See, this is how Donald Trump put black people to sleep. He ain't said nothing for or against us, which in our eyes is like, shit, he didn't say he would, but he didn't say he wouldn't. But what he has done has been very specific about them, Kamar, saying no, all you Latinos, Asians, they're eating your pets. They're eating your dogs and your cats.
Right. Ain't they talking about putting the ice? Ain't they talking about putting a new ICE office here and shit?
That's what I just talked about. I just said they're trying to do it here on the Northwest side.
Yeah, so they really finna get at that shit, man. They finna get at that immigration shit.
They are positioning themselves, and I don't think we'll be included. Now, if you are paranoid to say, no, they're going to eventually get us too. I don't think that's what they're doing.
We already helped make the wheels turn. We part of the game already. And it's only a few of us that's against the grain.
In terms of us being the new slaves again, I just don't. Nah. I don't think that'll happen.
Mental slaves.
Well, yeah. Well, this way, yeah. Play us, right? Pawns, right? Not looked at as, once again, it's the norm that they've been looking at us like we was less than this whole time anyway. So it won't be a new development.
Most niggas been slaves already.
Or they look at us that way. That's the perception of us anyways, right? That we're still the slaves. And we adapted to it, saying, no, you're right. we is still traumatized by slavery. And the white man said, see, I told you, nigger. We fucked you up a long time ago. He said 1865 was when the Third Emancipation Proclamation was signed. 1965 was when the Immigration Act was passed. He said, facts, Kev. We are the biggest consumers in this country and the trendsetters as well. He said, do you remember the Who to Sell to the Negro video? Yeah, I've seen it many times. And that was our introduction into, because of the Great Migration, we were coming to cities. So don't look now, but it might be some Negroes coming into your establishment to buy something. Put the products on the shelf that they buy, right? Gauss, people talk about Gauss with so much reverence. It was never black owned in America, in Milwaukee. They stocked the things that they knew we ate. We'll get them some collard greens. Where you want to get them, all them down south foods, the chitlins, the fatback, all that. My mother, I went to Gauss when I was little, when the original white people still owned it. It was never black owned, but they stocked the things that the Negro consumers wanted.
But that was in a predominantly Negro neighborhood.
That's right.
So that's why
but they blew up that way. That's how they established. So black people say Gauss. And it's not even called Gallus. I love my people. Gauss. Yeah. I went there. I was very young with my mom. I went there. She would say when she needed to get it. Come on, this is before Pick and Saving on them used to have collard greens. They didn't have collard greens. You had to go to Lena's or Gauss, right? And when we get Thanksgiving, my mother be like, "We going to Lena's."
I remember they had plenty. They had plenty greens, man. Greens every motherfucker where.
Pig feet, ham hocks, chitlins,
all year round.
Yeah. So yeah, we stocked the things that Negroes buy. Kohl's food store, all those other stores kind of followed suit. Because I grew up when Kohl's was on Teutonia and Capitol. You can go in there and get some greens. Catfish, of a sudden.
That's what you're supposed to do if you're a business.
Right.
And you got a store somewhere. You're supposed to stock up with what the people need around you.
Right. I mean, or else where would I find my old English at? Jesse said, right. We need to practice group economics back in the 1920s through 60s. We practiced group economics and we had racial cohesion back then as well. He said capitalism. Let me catch this up. FBAs and DOAs and Freeman were the first to stock and brand sold on Wall Street. He said we're literally the only reason there is a Wall Street in the New York Stock Exchange. Let me see. He's saying that's how Kobe was too, Dion. So remember Woolworths? Yes, I do. I went to Woolworth. I'm telling you, I'm old, man. Said the dump just brokered the Holy Land's genocide ceasefire. So I agree, Kev, with just a bunch of fear mongering. Let me get. Mama Jenkins said, Kamar, you are right. It's a scare tactic. Okay. Mama Jenkins agrees with you, Kamar. Said he won't be the first racist white supremacist president that we've had to deal with. Mama Jenkins said the Ku Klux Klan. Ace is in the building. He said, yes, Kev, that's exactly what happened. Them people targeted our best and brightest and gave them a job and paid them to use us as livestock. AIPAC does that to this day. AIPAC is them motherfucking Zionists. He said, that's the new civil war, Kamar. A says, yes, it's going to be crazy because Kamar, you said it's going to be white people against white people. But that's what the original Civil War was.
Yeah, that's all through history. That's how it's been, man.
Right. White people make war.
On each other. It's just the beginning.
You find out on Shaka Zulu that in Africa, at first, they didn't even fight. They used to have a dance-off. And then Shaka came like, fuck this, and they got to stabbing motherfuckers. It's like, damn.
I wouldn't give any credence to Shaka as actual history.
Shaka Zulu was a real person. He's a real person.
I believe that, but I wouldn't be like, hey, this is how they used to do it because, all through history, from the Greeks to the Romans to the Egyptians and everywhere else, the Vikings, we've seen stones and swords and all type of weapons of mass production.
Go and look at tribal warfare in Africa. Africa's been different. Once again, you talking about where the innovators come from. They didn't have no way. They hadn't even touched the interior of Africa.
The motherfuckers came out the mountains and wound up on the water. That's where you get the Vikings from.
Yeah, well, AKA white people, right?
Right, pretty much.
He said it's going to be crazy because he's dealing with Elon Musk, which is obviously part of the Illuminati. Damn, Ace, you name off every conspiracy theory.
They about to turn on each other like rabid dogs, though.
Well, ignorance can't live together. They're going to have to break up.
Steve Bannon don't like Elon Musk.
I thought he'd been done. I thought they been kicked his ass out the square. Trump got rid of him a long time ago. He got fired from his White House position last time.
Steve Bannon still in his ear because Steve Bannon carry a lot of weight with them white supremacist voters. And then he could take a lot of them with him and it'll fuck them up in the primary. You know what I'm saying?
Mama Jenkins said they got a lot of old pissy ass white men running the country.
I know. I ain't watching the inauguration.
I'm gonna watch it. Obama sat next to him at Jimmy Carter's funeral and had the laugh of all laughs. And if I was Obama, I'd have been laughing too. So I'm gonna watch some of that shit. I know Aretha Franklin.
I don't even think the Democrats should. I don't even think the Democrats should show up.
He said, "I would like to see a 3 to 4 party system. 2 parties don't represent the interests of 330 million Americans. I'm sorry, y'all. And 43 million FBAs. Of course not. Well, that's kind of like the issue. Everybody's not represented." He said he's going after Asians first and then the East Indians, the Latinos. Tom Homan is the new border czar. The new border czar is not playing. He said, we can't get deported. We built the country and they still look at us as slaves, the mule of this society. I don't know how we can say that when the low paying jobs, the real like subservient jobs, they don't even look for us to do that. They look for Mexicans. You know, one of the biggest issues that you hear white people talking about is, what is this mass deportation going to do to the economy? Because a lot of these individuals undocumented are workers. They're pickers.
Yeah.
They do what's left of the agricultural work. We don't do that shit no more. We don't pick a goddamn thing but our nose right now.
They do the bullshit work for bullshit pay and don't argue about it. No.
I get these motherfuckers come put a roof on my house in 2 days and pay
like
them
niggas to me.
That's what I'm saying. And this, when you hear them saying, "Wait a minute, this is gonna mess the economy up," because you ain't finna get brothers out there picking oranges. We ain't doing it. We that's what the Great Migration was about. We not picking shit no more. You can't get brothers to work in a heated warehouse. Like, fuck that. $8 an hour? Hell no. If he come, he only gonna be there 2 weeks till he get enough to buy him a sack and start flipping it. Let me see. Earl Henny said just moving it from downtown by MS. Yeah, MSOE bought the building where it's at right now. And they're saying this is not going to be a real detention center where they're holding people. Of course, that's the fear because they've already changed the zoning where this building is and saying they're going to add this tall fence and they're going to do some additions to the campus. And it's looking like eventually this is going to be one of their processing centers. And so the people here saying we don't want it. We already got this 32 bed youth prison coming to the Northwest side. Now in my head, this better get cold at. I say build them both. We need jobs. Build them both. Now, if they build them and we don't get those jobs, then I got an issue with it.
We're not gonna get the job.
Well, you can say saying that for a brick is laid. We damn sure won't get them if we don't demand it. Something should be said right now.
They just did 43 with the infrastructure bill and with all this construction that we was fighting. How many black people you seen out there? Now you see Michaels everywhere.
Wait. Well, now 43. You said finish. Elaborate on that a little bit, because I want you to just throw some shit out.
The highway. 43.
Okay. They did that.
And when Joe Biden passed the infrastructure bill with all his money, and you seen all this construction, this fuck 43. There's all this construction that you've seen around the city. You've seen a lot of Michaels trucks and Flablocki and other weird ass names. You might have seen 1 or 2 niggas out there, but you ain't seen a lot of them.
Who was fighting for that? Which one of our leaders was fighting for that? Openly, outwardly.
I mean, that's when what they say, minorities are supposed to be able to when
well, closed mouths don't get fed. Who was fighting for it? Nobody. Nobody.
I don't know.
That's why we wasn't out there.
That's just like when they build a youth prison. Who's gonna be fighting for giving? When the ICE
Somebody
center,
should. Somebody should right now. Deanna is what I'm saying. Maybe it ain't happened yet. I'm saying right now we need to start saying that. Closed mouth. You got it. What do you want? Because this will be the reason why we do boycott, when you don't give us what we want, but you have to say what you want first. You can't sit back and say, see, I knew they wasn't going to hire us. And we wasn't advocating for it. We not putting that. We ain't putting that heat. Why we ain't putting the heat on these politicians right now? Because they can raise, like I looked at the older woman out here talking shit. This is going to happen. She's raising a stink to save face with her voters. But what we should be saying is her constituents is, okay, they're going to do this. Ask them about how many of us will be hired there. Can we guarantee that this will be somewhere people can get jobs? It's like I said about the youth prison. Why are we send them all the way up north, 5 hours away, and let them get that money? That's why northern Wisconsin ain't no cows up there. Ain't no cheese. They got prisons up there. And guess who working them jobs? White people.
Lily white.
So bring them back here and guarantee us the jobs. They are kids anyways. But you got to have a leader to come out and say that. You ain't just expected to, well, white people know better than that. And they might, but you ain't. Did you say something? Just say, Kamar, hit dog holler. Let me get this chat room because I got something for Kamar. So let me get the chat room. Earl Henny said, just moving it from down. Okay. He's saying Zulu. Mama Jenkins said there was no pick and save. Gauss was the beast for the blacks. It was called demand and supply. We need to be teaching our children about macroeconomics. I don't think they teach us that in schools anymore. You know what they do? Are our kids listening, or can they comprehend it? We got some learning deficiencies here. I say this all the time, and this is part of my dissertation, is that, you know, from kindergarten to third grade, you learn how to read. From third grade on out, you read to learn. You had to learn how to do word problems after third grade. It wasn't no more Bill and Jill and Jack and Sprack. It was Tommy had 16 balls. He gave Mary 5, and then he gained another 2 from Timmy. Motherfucker, you had to learn how to read. Can our kids do that? Y'all, I ask y'all out there because I know mine can. I can hang. Is that a flex? Can y'all kids read? Have you tested them? Mine can. I'm connected to everybody. Oh, well, he ain't got no job because he can't read. That's why he won't stay at no job. The same reason he wouldn't stay in class, because he can't read. He don't want me to call on him. Man, I used to listen. Anytime when I taught school, when I recognized who the bully was in the room and I had to establish that I was the only adult, I made him read out loud. You know how many bullies I shut down? Oh, you got so much to say. Why don't you start reading where we left off at? Man, fuck you, hoe ass nigga. Yeah, I know. You can't read, can you? Mr. Burns, you an asshole. That's what the kids used to say. Why you doing like that? Then I tell him, hey, man, you come see me at the class, man. I'll get you in this literacy program, man. You start working on your reading. Man, I'm just saying I can read. Okay, well, here, read this. It's just me and you here now. Read it. Can't read. Can't read. Can't read. So we was the Vikings and Aryan gods. I don't know. I would never know Viking. She said pissy and depends wearing white men, Mama Jenkins. He said that they're the jobs we used to do. That's why I said we ain't picking shit no more. And when the last time you heard a brother say, man, I just got this job, man. I'm finna go up here and pick these cranberries. You know they harvest cranberries in northern Wisconsin, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know they harvest. There's some stuff being. When you hear brother saying, man, I'm finna just mud, man, I can't find no job here. I'm just finna go up to a Schwabenau, man, and start doing these cranberries. We ain't picking shit. We walked away from that. He said, this is Jesse. He says, let me get through this, y'all. Shoddy work too. They do horrible work, especially when it comes to construction. These apartment buildings, they built fall apart in 3 to 6 months. Yeah, but you can't find him. He done blew the scene. Hector ain't had no warranty plan. That's what you paying for. Like you don't pay a prostitute for sex, you pay her to leave. Oh man. Jesse said they don't even know how to paint correctly. They don't. I don't know, man. I've seen some Mexicans put some hell of a construction down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's
He always got something to say.
He said facts. He agreed with you. He said facts, Dion. I see the same thing in my city. Majority of the construction workers were white and Latino. I'm surprised now when I see a black man working these jobs. Well, first of all, when we talk about Milwaukee, are our young black males graduating from high school learning those trades? Do they know how to drive dump trucks? Do they know how to work the cement mixer? Do they have a mastery of these technical skills? I mean, no.
They can't even stop smoking weed.
Well, I hate to generalize. I'm just saying, and I'm not talking down on us. I'm saying there's the vacuum that needs to be addressed if we're going to come to them and say, hey, hire our kids for these jobs too. Well, they have to be qualified. Can he use a tape measure? Does he understand the metric system? Does he have a CDL? Like, you got to be ready. You don't just walk out on the field and start. You got to go to practice. I'm full of metaphors tonight, Kamar. I'm killing them.
Right. I hear you.
We should start with it today. We should have been started, but you're right. Ain't no time like the right time. She said you don't have to go there. Well, we need to start putting that as a narrative for our boys and say, hey, man, listen, get you a trade, youngster. Man, learn how to drive them semis. Do you understand that the money coming, the influx of money that's going to be coming is going to be based on infrastructure? America has 1 million bridges that need to be rebuilt. Roadways, the actual infrastructure of our country needs to be rebuilt and maintained. There's money in those trades. Who's going to make the tools that they use? We're talking about CNC, machining, fabrication. You get this, if you can flip a sack, don't say, oh man, that's a classroom shit. You learning what you want to learn. And what you're going to learn is your ass finna be locked up. She said,
won't let me.
Right. Mama Jenkins said you don't have to go that far. Just go on King Drive. There's no blacks working on the library. And called and asked why. Like, who's downtown? Who's downtown making a funk about that? You know why? Because that contract is negotiated by the city and brother Chevy. It's Chevy who's doing the negotiations. We had my brother running for comptroller, the county comptroller. We talked about on the show. Hey, man, is this going to be a situation where this individual can go in there and negotiate that there should be a certain amount of minorities working on these projects? Of course, Michael Harper was with it, but he didn't get elected. So who's talking about it? Jesse said you got to elect a leader who will say that, Kev. You do have to. That's what I'm saying. Don't come to me telling me what white people should be doing it unless we telling them what the fuck we want done. Then we keep telling y'all and y'all ain't listening. It's scatterbrain. You hear it over here, but when you sit those individuals down, a lot of times you can write them a check and they'll shut the fuck up.
That's most of the time.
Right. And I ain't
That's
mad
why
at
you
them.
can't get nobody to ruffle no feather.
Man. He said, right. It was the same when I was in elementary school, Kev. Dre Day, what it do, Dre Day? How you doing, my brother? He said, what black company has the capacity to handle the work? I don't know any, but do they have to comply with the minority participation for government projects so we get the bare minimum or the capacity we can handle? Well, I see, once again, I keep saying, if the opportunity is there, you got to be ready to get it, right? Like, so I can get you there and say, so what you want to do? Which one of these machines you want to drive? Man, shit, I'm just trying to get a job.
He's saying like what black company got big ass excavators and
That's
shit?
What I'm saying. So we don't. When you ain't coming to the. I know there's a large black construction company here, and they do get contracts.
It's a woman owned too, ain't it? And it's a black woman that own it.
I believe.
I know it's one where it's a few brothers that own a construction company here too. So it is. It is companies here, black companies that can handle it. You know what I mean? But like, I wonder if they even asking to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Like, is it an application that they put in? You know what I'm saying? So they would know that they want to do it.
So Kamar, this is the genius of politics. Because if I'm getting money, if I got a construction company and I'm getting money, you know the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to get somebody in Madison. I'm going to get me a lobbyist. I'm going to get a special interest group. I'm gonna say, hey man, where them labor laws? Who making? Because I don't got time to go up there and sit all day on them conferences and 7-hour meetings about labor laws. But I'm gonna put somebody in. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what special interest in lobbying is. So when you do go and sit with a candidate, you say, man, we've been thinking a lot about so and so, we think you might need to support that.
Right.
And to some bitch back up off of it, say, hey, we're gonna have to pull our support. Once again, come down to the money, man. Come down to the money. He said I could read before.
Brother Ice Cube tried to get started.
And nobody want to hear. Ice Cube back to making careless rap music again, and I love him for it because I think he made one of the dopest albums I've heard in a long time. Thank y'all for giving us Ice Cube back, man.
Ice Cube wasn't no representative for the black people.
No, but he had an innovative idea in saying, hey, here's our list. What's your response? And I'm willing to talk to either party so that I can tell us we should be going this way or that way.
Right.
I want to blame the Boulay for something. I think their issue was with him saying that because, hey, whoa, hold on. Who the fuck you think you is? Go rap or something.
I agree with some of them, dog. I do, though. And see, that's the problem. Wait, hold on. Okay, let me finish. And that's the problem that we have now with this goof-ass president. We have somebody that has no skills. What do Ice Cube know about politics? Well, he could go and try to negotiate with these type of people.
I think he was.
You gotta have qualifications.
I think he was willing to learn. I think that was his approach. Like, let's talk turkey about it.
But then, even then, it wasn't even at that talk. It wasn't about him talking politics. It's just a list of demands, a list of different stuff that we want. Can
As
you
voters.
make this happen?
As voters,
I don't have to know politics. I don't have to know politics to tell you what I want.
There you go. That's key right there. That's key right there. I don't gotta know about all the whips and who's the majority leader and all that when I say, man, my people need to be employed.
Right.
We have to be given a bigger slice of the economic pie. Well, what did you want me to do? Then you can say, well, let me know what you're doing at this point. Be transparent. Give us all the information, and then we can go and counter that to say, okay, let's change this, let's change that. Shit.
Right.
That's all you can say, Kamar. Shit.
Right. That's how it's supposed to happen.
Right. Jesse said I could read before I started school. You and me both, man. My mama was not playing with that. That's one thing about her. When it came to me, she was not playing with me about that. I was reading the Journal Sentinel because she said she had diabetes. So she said, I can't see. Read this. And Kamar used to read the green sheet. Right. And you know where the comics and shit. I remember
the greens.
And she's like, yeah, go read that and do the puzzles. I didn't know when it was a murder or something happened. She said, read this. I can't see it. And my little ass used to sit there and read it. I almost blew my kindergarten teacher head off. He give me that dumbass book about Bill. I ran through that shit so fast, like, and I knew my phone number and my address and all kinds of shit. She called my mother like, my mama like, look, man, who you talking to? Of course I know he knows. Do you know he knows it? Yes, I know he knows it. I'm the one who taught him. You know, once again, the litmus test for us was my mother would tell you the teacher wants to see you at the school to get your height and your weight. So you got to walk up there by yourself. And then she will be following you a block behind to see if you knew how to walk to the school and walk back home. I just saw her and my brother trying to creep in the alley halfway, like, what y'all doing? And then the jig was up. But that's how she taught to see if let me see if this motherfucker know how to walk and cross the street. That's a risky ass thing for a 6-year-old to just let him. I could have got ran over by heaven knows who. But that's them old school people, man. Like, because she said, you go straight down the street, you go all the way to the top of the block, you turn right. She told me you got to follow directions. Let me get this because I got to do this for Kamar. Speaking of reading, FBAs, DOAs, and freedmen are the only people in this country who had whole laws passed to keep us from reading and writing. And still in 2025, many of our people can't read or write. I think that's their fault. If you can't read now, it's your fault. To me, I might be callous for saying it. You need to. It's because you learn how to be functionally illiterate. You know that stop sign say stop, right? Why can't you apply the same principle to learning other words, man? How much do you invest in it? Mama Jenkins said my grandkids can read because I made them read and they had library cards. Now I make my grandkids read. My great grandkids read. I'm sorry. Said true. We got to start sending our children out to trade schools instead of college. You know what? With my son right now, he's saying I don't necessarily know if I'm, this, that, and the third. But my thing is this: it's all about building the foundation, Kamar. Because this shit finna go so fast. Go ahead and get this little degree, this bachelor's degree in 4 years. If at that time you want to do something else, go and do it. You got a notch in your belt. Right. Ain't about, don't send them to college. No, go to college. Because first of all, you got to learn how to survive on your own. And he's 7 hours away from us. You got to learn how to survive. I think you learn more social skills in college and responsibility than you do anything else when you go far away. Because you got to get your ass up and go to class. It ain't got nothing to do with how smart you are, Kamar. You could literally, if you got up every day and went to class, you get all C's, you get a bachelor's degree in 4 years. And that's going to put you in conversations in rooms that you wouldn't get access to. That kind of makes gatekeepers say, shit, let me see what's going on here. I guess he's one of us. My daughter is a Zeta, so she's actually Boule. We put her in that room, Kamar. You got to have somebody in the room, man. Who's speaking up for us? Jesse said, facts, the infrastructure of this country needs to be rebuilt and fixed. Shabaka, how you doing? Shabaka's tuning in with us. Greetings from Sin City. Shabaka says, let me get Shabaka right quick. He says, with the Rebuild Los Angeles project of 1992, every other group got hired except black people. This is why I say fuck those black politicians in Los Angeles. He said he might call in. Said who's the dump appointed to labor secretary? I don't know yet. I wish I had that information for you, Shabaka. Mama Jenkins said Neville's was a black owned company, but I don't know if they still exist. Said fuck the Boule, they House Niggas Incorporated, depending on how you look at it. My daughter is not a house nigga at all. She's not compromised. She knows who she is. She's a proud, strong, young, black, dynamic woman who ain't taking no shit. And so she's in it to win it, man. That's what building your legacy is about, though. Go do more than I did. Don't just sit in my limited understanding. Go out there. Right. I know who I raised.
You gotta let your kids go out and experience shit, man. Go live life.
Yeah. Shit, you ain't me. Crystal Ship, how you doing, my sister? She said oftentimes the larger white-owned companies put their wife over the company, which then qualifies them as a minority-owned company, thus leading them to federal contracts. That is beautiful because we talked about how everybody, once again, this is an innovation of foundational black Americans. Nobody rode for their rights like we did. Ain't nobody got no songs and no poems and no rhymes and shit like we got for our freedom. But then they said civil rights. So yeah, white women said, hey, guess what? I'm a minority too. See, they figured out a way.
They came over with the feminist movement.
Yeah, they figured out a way. They created a bag. That's what we got to do. That's why the delineation movement is so great. That's why us saying, hold on, FBA above everybody. Foundational Black Americans, that's us. Fuck that. We want us to win. Ernest said Kev had the cookies baking for the ladies Monday. I understand your point, but too much frosting on that cake, bro. Oh, he said I was caping for the women on Monday. Shout out to my sisters, man. That's why I named the show Dark and Lovely, man. I ain't letting brothers come at y'all with all this sideways bullshit, man. For real. I ain't letting black women go out like that. For real. Cause it's enough blame to go around. For real. Stop it.
Definitely.
Stop it. And look, now don't get me wrong, there's some things I got issues with, but some of them are based on my own individual experiences. They're not every woman on this planet doesn't deserve to be treated a certain way because I had 1 or 2 or maybe 3 bad experiences. It's on me to figure out what happened so that it won't happen again. I can't walk around like that. I'm not jaded, right? If I really dealt with people on the level of, well, how many times have I been screwed over? I'd never come out my house. Right. People ain't been doing shit to me but misusing me since I was born.
No, Daddy.
Hey, why black? Hey, you know what? Ever since we was kids, though, but think about it, right? Ever since we was kids, in our community, a lot of black men, not all black men, but a lot of black men made it seem like it was a bad thing to love a woman. You know what I mean?
Or give her the benefit of the doubt.
You got to be a pimp. You got to be a player out here, and like it's just a bad thing to love a woman. What's wrong with that?
All right. You should love a woman. You should have a woman.
Yeah, that's how the fuck.
Especially
hopefully that's how you was born.
Come on, I'm about to step on some toes, man. If you a certain age, you should have a woman.
Straight up.
If you are of a certain age and you don't have one woman that you have over.
You wasn't that player. You wasn't that player growing up, did
right. The game wasn't as good as you thought it was, man. You wasn't putting nothing down. You couldn't find one that stuck to you. Listen to me. I'm gonna be 50.
I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down, man. That's a good one. Yeah.
You supposed to have. Hold on. You listen. You are supposed to have a woman. I don't want to hear that it's every woman you ever met in your life wasn't shit, and that's why you're alone. Stop it. Because some of them situations you fucked up. Because just how we were saying women walk past good men all the time. We walk past good women all the time.
We do.
Man, and I can't say every woman I ever dealt with wasn't shit, because then that would make me not shit. I'm attracting what I'm putting out. Stop it. Y'all brothers better wake up and realize, but I do love Ernest saying, let me say, I love his comment. He said, I had the cookies baking.
That was a good one. Hey, that was a good one, though.
Come on, he said I had too much frosting on the cake.
That's what
you had cookies, bacon, and too much frosting on the cake.
He said I was caking them, man. I was caking for the ladies on Monday night.
Hey, but you know what though?
Well, I just want to say this. The last part of this is I think people would have to understand. I had a very good relationship with my mama. I loved my mama, and my mama loved me. And there's no reason for me to ever discount women. Now, have I been lost? Have I got to the point where I did some things I probably shouldn't have done with women, especially as a young man? Absolutely. But a lot of the stuff I done was because of what she told me. But the one thing she always told me is know when to sit your ass down. Know when. My mother's like, hey, if she da-da-da-da-da, sit your ass down, or you're going to be somewhere old and lonely. My mother had old, lonely girlfriends who was cat ladies, and she used to laugh at them. like, you know,
that's how a lot of these women going to be now, old and lonely.
I'm telling you, some of you brothers who don't have a woman, it's like Kamar said, some of y'all might need to learn how to start caking and start baking cookies.
You wasn't so player growing up.
Hey, your game wasn't good.
You don't know how to get with them.
Well, you know what? You might have known how to get with them, but you never did enough to make one stick with you long term. Because where's she at?
Right.
But you know what, though, Kid? I've been in a relationship since I was 15 years old. I ain't never been single by myself. I ain't gonna lie to you. And sometimes, like, I ain't gonna lie, this time when I got single, I thought I was gonna be throwing this dick like a boomerang, but it didn't turn out to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't want everybody. Then to keep it real, when you older, you don't want everybody in your space, though, in your house. You just don't want to lay up with everybody. Though. You can't do everything with everybody. So
that's
you know, but I ain't gonna lie. Now, my mother and my grandmother made me. How can I say this? I guess they did make me dislike women a little bit, but they made me always want to have my own shit. I ain't never lived with a woman. The only woman I ever lived with gave birth to me. So no bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So I seen my grandmother and my mother, especially with my grandmother, because that's who I was basically raised with, that she died. And I seen her do bullshit to my grandfather, and I didn't like it. And then I seen my mother do a lot of bullshit to niggas because they stayed with her. Like, if that nigga didn't smoke crack and had some type of addiction problem, she wasn't even attracted to him. I seen her hide a nigga shoot for a whole year. So that made me really distrust women and didn't want to put my freedom, put my livelihood in a woman's hands.
Right.
That's why the other day when we was talking, I said, I don't look the bill with no woman. I do this shit myself. That house over there on 79th Street, it's in my name. I pay the mortgage. Yeah. I got that motherfucker. I did the loan. I ain't never built shit with a woman.
Yeah,
but now as I'm getting
it ain't shit without somebody to share it with.
I mean, no, it ain't shit though. But you know, but now as I'm getting older and I think about my longevity, you know, it is some things that, you know, like if we got a big enough house where, you know, I ain't gotta see you a lot and you ain't gotta, you know, see me, then I can deal with that.
Again, but I think, Dion, I think the fact that I think you just kind of gave your own synopsis. Your relationship with your mother and your grandmother wasn't good. You hold on. You held some resentment towards them for some of the things you saw them do. So you didn't have that same relationship. So what you're realizing now, though, is you're going into it with a real skeptical perspective. You can't go into any kind of building being skeptical. I can't enter into a relationship where we're going to build something being skeptical. I have to go in being open and saying, hey, I'm open to us cooperating here, coexisting. But once again, you don't get that opportunity from me unless you check off a certain things on my checklist, right? Like there has to be a qualification. I have to vet the candidates. And I'm sure my wife was the same. Like there has to be some bottom line things for me to deal with him, because some stuff you can change as we get older. Some shit has changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some shit has. I did make the adjustment. I did mature enough to say, hey man, let me freeze that bullshit, right? Some shit is still a problem, because some shit she still be like, this motherfucker, goddamn, 20-something years, he's still doing the same shit. So
like with my girl, she be mad at me because I don't compromise. And then because I pay the cost to be the boss, I don't feel like I gotta compromise. You know,
God forbid you ever have a calamity where your money ain't in control no more, and you got to depend on her.
I am a misogynist. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't believe women can be preachers. So I believe that a woman has a certain particular role.
Ooh,
you ain't gotta walk behind me, but you're gonna walk on the side of me. But you're not on a higher echelon than me. Like, fuck what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a logical thinker too. I don't think always in emotion. You know, like I'll give you this prime example, and I'm gonna let you go ahead. Like my girl,
thank you for letting me go.
No, because I know you go. I know.
No, I just want to say thank you for saying I'll let you go, Kev. I'll let you.
No,
go.
I ain't saying let you go like that, but I know you want others to talk about. So, say for instance, right, my girl, her son go to Huntsville. You know what I'm saying? So she gave him her car. Well, I said, you drove that car way down to Alabama. First of all, you didn't get it out your name. Second of all, you drove it to Alabama. Did you think this through? Is he coming back in the springtime? Then the summer, you got to go down there and get it. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a motherfucker thought it through. Like she was like, he just want a car. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. They gave him her car and she bought another one. But now I don't help pay her tuition. I don't help with none of her bills. And we live in two different states, so I shut the fuck up on it. But I told her how I feel.
As you should.
Well, I ain't got nothing else to say after that, kid.
Well, no, I mean, you just said it. I don't pay anything. We don't even live in the same state, so you shouldn't be saying a goddamn word. You should be saying.
Yeah, you be using my words to weaponize against me.
Yeah. Shit. I'm listening. Words mean something. I'm listening at you. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing what you say when you say, I don't got a dog in the fight. So I don't give a fuck. And so you shouldn't. Yeah. Now, if y'all was together and that was your son, and you know, he's talking about the household budget and all this, to be like, hey man, don't do this, that, and the third, you know, think about the insurance costs and like, you know, that's a discussion you have when you're invested. And I just want to say this to you: you can't expect nobody to go all out for you when you won't go all out for them. Like it's just not gonna happen, because then you just pivot. Right? Yeah. So if I'm already reserved, I can't ask her, well, why you won't do this? She's not gonna give you her. There's submit. Why she won't submit? I don't like to use the word submission, but I think saying, "Hey, I'm all in. I'm fully invested." Right? That's not submission. That's, hey man, let's coexist. Like we have to do this. We can't exist like this.
Right.
So yeah, this is Ace in the chat room. He said Ace Cooley He said Ice Cube didn't give a care about who it was. He wanted to know who had a black agenda. That's what I think his point was. Crystal Ship says she knows because she's seen it firsthand. I think she's talking about the business thing. The Contract for Black America was a good document that listed our demands, and he was demonized for attempting to meet with both parties. Biden Harris said they would meet with him after the election. They didn't, along with a lot of other things that didn't happen. Shabaka said my great grandmother made us read in Chicago before we can go out and play. Jesse Pierce said that never happened. Trump team met with him before the 2020 election, and afterwards he came out with the Platinum Plan. He said, I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice and criminology with a minor in African American studies. You know, I want to say this too. A degree in itself doesn't guarantee you a goddamn thing. Like, I hate for people to say, yeah, this motherfucker got a degree and he don't make this. He don't make. You have to pimp your degree. You can't just get a degree and they just gonna start calling you. Like, I can tell you the first thing that I learned when I got my bachelor's degree way back in 1999 is when I went to these job interviews where I thought I qualified for a Kamar, and I said, hey, I have a bachelor's degree. They'll say you have no experience. You don't have, you got the degree, but you don't have any experience. So I had to put in work. I had to work. I'm just now to the point where I can say, look at my resume. I got 20-some years of experience plus advanced degrees. Your denial is making less and less sense to me. Now I'm ready to fight on what's your hiring practices here. But I had to pimp it. I had to learn how to work them degrees. He said, that's true. You can graduate from college with all C's. And it's good to graduate with honors. But at the end of the day, when you got a degree, they don't say, well, what was your grade point average? I never got asked that until I went to grad school. It was like, well, and then I said, oh, shit. I had to look, damn, what was my grade point average? I don't know. I'm so happy to get the degree. The first one. Mama Jenkins said, that's why I still take the paper so my great-grandson can read the sport paper. He be running to get it, KB. That's my way to get him to read daily because he loves sports. Man, I love them comics, man. I just loved them comics when I was little, man. My mother knew to peel that green sheet out and give it to me. Come on, I'd be so hyped just to. And I started.
I used to go searching for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. My mother
go searching for it.
She'd be like, don't tear my damn paper up. Get it out of there. You know.
Your mama used to cut the little thing out of there. It was like, I can't think of it, but it was like a little couple, and they was always in love, and they had like little quotations, or they had like
Dear
little
Nancy. That's you talking about the advice columns, like
no, it was a cartoon. It was a cartoon.
Okay. No, she didn't cut nothing. Yeah, she never cut nothing out. That's how I started reading the Boondocks, because it was in the paper. Jesse said Trump appointed for Keith Sandering Shabaka. He said FBA first. Let me know when you taking calls, Kev. Crystal Ship said women-owned businesses. I want to get everybody. Said women-owned businesses in a construction field is considered non-traditional, and that's why they qualify as a minority, because in the construction field they are a minority. Yeah, that's one way that's how you do it. That's how, man, hustling, man, making a way out of no way. He said, LOL, Kev, shots fired. I don't know who I took shots at so many people subliminally. I hope they don't, you know. Jesse said, same here, Dion. I never lived with a woman either outside of my mom and my grandma. Here's a secret. I never lived with a woman before I lived with my wife. Matter of fact, matter of fact, Kamar, I never really had a serious girlfriend before her. That wasn't part of the plan. That wasn't the agenda. That's not how we even moved. We didn't even move like that. You know how we used to do. You know, it was, hey, man, I'm out here.
Family wasn't high on the agenda. You know, I be talking about, you know, my life and growing up, you know, out of school, you know what I mean? I'm out here, wound up rapping. So I was traveling, doing a lot of traveling in and out of town and shit. In my mind, a bunch of my homies, I used to watch them. When it's time to go out of town, they get into it with their baby mamas and their women and shit because they mad because they going out of town. And I used to see all that shit, all them problems they was having. So I knew, like, that ain't nothing I want right now. You know what I'm saying? I was one of them young brothers that knew, like, I don't need no relationship right now. You know what I mean? I don't need them headaches. I got to be able to live my life. And I tell young brothers that now all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no woman at that age when you're young like that. You need to be living. You need to be experiencing different women. So at least that way you could know what type of women out there, the different qualities that women have. Like what qualities fit you, what qualities you don't like. You know what I mean? You need to be learning all that shit while you're young. So then by the time you're ready to settle down for a relationship, you know what you want. You ready. You done did all the shit it is to do out there, so the shit don't surprise you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a way that you need to live your life. And a lot of the time, man, we trap ourselves, have ourselves caught up in relationships way earlier than we have to or than we need to. You know what I'm saying? And wind up with kids, with baby mamas and baby daddies that we can't stand, that we don't get along with. You know what I mean? We completely changed from the person who we was back then. So that lifestyle ain't the same, but that motherfucker still got the same. Man, yeah, man,
I agree with you on that one right there.
We need to slow the fuck down.
That's what I'm saying, but that's why we got to stop blaming. The blame game is stupid. It's not progressive.
It's us.
You should stop blaming
shit and figure out. We all got a part in it. You know what I'm saying? Every bad relationship you had, nigga, you had a place in it. You know what I'm saying? Fix yourself.
Here's an innovative concept, Kamar. I realized when my mind had matured, when I got fucked over by somebody and I said, you know what, that's my fault.
Right.
I didn't even blame them. I said, that's on me.
You tell yourself, I knew better.
Right. I knew that. What was I thinking? Right. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I should have paid know the details. You know what I mean? So I think that's what a lot of people got to stop blaming everybody for everything and start saying, how much of responsibility on any situation that I go into, how much of it is my responsibility to prevent myself from getting fucked over or doing something that I didn't mean to do? There's a great deal of you have the power to say, you know what, I think I'm not going to fuck with this. And a lot of times that's your first mind, but you say, nah, I'm going to do it. And you almost always get screwed when you do that. And you say, I should have followed my first mind because I said from the start I shouldn't. It's like you said, man, I don't want to go. I ain't going nowhere tonight. And somebody called you and said, come on, dog, just come. Just come. And you went there and there was some bullshit. And you said, I should have stayed my ass at home. I said I wasn't going.
Somebody get killed.
Dad, you never know. Whatever happens, you say, I shouldn't even be here because I said I wasn't going nowhere. Shabaka said an old bastard like me got a lot to say about women. I bet you do, man. That knowledge got to be there. He said, right, you got to have experience in your field along with a degree to get the job in your field. Crystal Ship said, I do have a question, Kamar. What word would you use to describe how you felt when you woke up on your 50th birthday, especially when the life expectancy for a black man is way below the age of 50? She's asking you. Okay.
Bless.
Yeah.
Wow, shit. Like I could think of a whole bunch of one words, you know what I mean? But bless is the first one. You know what I look
you
around.
You get you a colonoscopy?
No, I didn't. But right, man. Why you go to here all of a sudden? Like damn. Colonoscopy ain't the word I thought.
Gotta go get my colon. Well, he's right, but damn, why you bringing it up now? Right. Kamar, they told us our expectancy was 19 and a half years, I believe, right? It was like 18 or when we was young, young teenagers.
You know what I mean? I look around, you know what I mean? And a lot of my friends ain't around no more. You know what I mean? They ain't make it to see this far. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I think about it, a bunch of the shit I done did or I done made it through. You know what I mean? All the days I thought I wasn't gonna make it, damn it, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying?
Love.
Yes.
Love, bro.
Yes. I got my 50th coming up, and I think if I make it, I'm gonna be kind of on the same kind of reflecting thing, like, dude, motherfucker been through some shit, man. And when I look around and be like, some of a large majority of the cats, Kamar, if you start taking stock that was around just 15, 20 years ago, are gone. Right? Or if you see some of them now and you say, damn, he or she is in a bad situation. Not that it's over, but damn, he doing bad.
I see a lot of people like that too.
Like I never would have thought. Man, what happened, man?
I was just talking to one of my homies, man, and he was talking about a partner who I knew also from back in the day, right? He was talking about how bad he doing. Like he getting kicked out of group homes and shit, and you know what I mean? Fucked up, he in a wheelchair, and you know what I'm saying? His attitude all fucked up, and you know what I mean? And I think back, like years ago, I really didn't rock with him, and I ain't saying his name for this reason, because you know what I mean? The dude was shiesty. You know what I'm saying? He was one of them lousy dudes too. You know what I mean? And sometimes I wonder, like, he alone and he living his life like this now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if like this could be the karma of the shit coming back to him. It ain't me to say if it is or not, but it's just one of the thoughts that come across. Like, I done watched him when we was young. You know what I mean? Now we a lot older, and I'm watching the life that he living, and you know what I'm saying? The shit I used to know about him, I knew was foul. And now you ain't got nobody. And you used to do the niggas around him and people around him shitty. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Come on.
But so yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed at 50, man. You know what I mean? I ain't got none of that on me, you know what I mean? None of that kind of energy. Like shit, it's all love.
I got so many. I try, and you just opened up a can of worms for me, because I do have a lot of partners who I look at, and this is not from a judgmental perspective. This is from, we talk about quality of life, consistency.
And it make you think about life, man.
Stability, and, you know, how, because I didn't want to be this when I'm old now. My physical prowess has started to fade, where I like, you know, I was still out here. You know what I mean? I wanted to, there's a need for stability at a certain point. And I do have a lot of homeboys that I say, damn, cuz I wish I could help, bro. Like, I wish I had enough money. And like you said, I do have a homie that's really physically and he wasn't a lousy dude, but his decision-making process was flawed. I'm like you said, I'm not going to say his name, and this is my brother. I had love for him. We come up together, but I look at him and I say, man, you got a lot to be grateful for, man, because shit, who's to say that couldn't be you? You know what I mean? So yeah. On that note, she said, that's dope. I can only imagine what that felt like. Salute, for real. Jesse Perry said the life expectancy of a black man is 69 years old. It's usually 10 to 15 years lower than white men. Black women usually live longer than us. That's no surprise. Yeah, it's hard out here. She said, I don't know. I can't read emoji, so I don't know if that means. I guess that means there's some real shit that she agrees with.
My niggas that can't read emoji.
I don't. I never be knowing what people put. I'm like, well, what the fuck is they saying? I don't know.
You know what that eggplant is, or
I do know what that is, and I know what the shit pile, which is actually ice cream, but people just made it a shit emoji. And I get to splash sometimes. Sometimes when I see it's used, like the little water, I just say, oh shit. Yeah. Shabaka said, wait till you're 60, Cam. Let me see. It's like, you know, like I said, I'm functionally illiterate, Deanna. I know what the stop sign is.
I get to splash. I'm like, whoa.
Shabaka said, if a woman is cheating on you, ask the motherfucker she is with now, how did my dick taste? Like, they get ready.
Wow, whoa, where that come from?
He said, then get ready to defend yourself. Yeah, absolutely. If you say some shit like that, you probably got to ask what.
I was wondering how you was going to work that out. I seen it coming, all right. I was reading it.
So check this out. I got this thing I want to do with y'all. I want to do, because I just think this is interesting. And I said I was going to do this, and I'm going to do it. Let me get it. I want to show y'all something because I think this is dope. So check this out.
Discipline and success are synonymous. You can't have one without the other. A successful fitness instructor has the discipline to stay fit himself first. You want to follow a fat ass fitness instructor. See, I'm a business owner, so time is my sacrifice. When everybody out in the streets or out at these events, I can't go to a lot of them. I'm in the lab cooking up teas, blending sea moss, mixing herbs, or out somewhere vending while promoting my store. It takes discipline to carry out the sacrifice made for success. The sacrifice will definitely be made. It ain't witchcraft, it's spiritual. How about having enough discipline enough to know when to shut the up so you can hear and find out when more discipline is needed? How about a little mental discipline? Do you listen to that inner voice that usually knows what's best? Do you make plans and actually carry them out? How about a little spiritual discipline? When you give all of yourself all the time just to feel like it ain't appreciated? Do you continue to be the good person that you were put here to be? Some days it get real dark. Some days it's hard to push on. But you gotta be the sun. The sun come up every day. You do what it's supposed to do. It don't care what nobody think or nobody say. Be the sun. Hey, be the sun.
All right.
Be the
sun. Could y'all hear that? Could y'all hear that clearly? Was that okay? I said I was gonna start playing those videos. I'm gonna start playing those videos on the show. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. It makes sense. It makes sense. And I have these.
I was talking. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I have these capabilities on the show so I can do that. And a lot of times I forget that I can actually share video. So I'll be talking about some shit. And I'm going to start doing that more when somebody says something and I really want people to understand, start sharing the video. But I'm definitely going to start sharing those videos you make. So go ahead.
No, I was just talking about how that one came about. I was talking to somebody today and they was asking me about it was a disease that they was working with. And then she started talking about, well, I got to go home and eat this ice cream. I just bought this $8 ice cream. And then I started talking to her about discipline and sacrifice to achieve the goal she wanted. So then, I thought, well, shit, let me go back and press record a few times and see what I can come up with. And that's how that video came about. At the time, that's where the videos be. It may spark from a conversation or something like that, you know what I mean? Or a light bulb might just pop up in my head, and they just come out. But I feel like these are just stuff that I should get off to make people think a little bit.
That's what's up.
I feel like it's inspiration. Take it how you want it, right?
Yeah, that's what this shit is for. And like I said, I think those messages, those kind of like micro messages, if I could find a editor, if anybody knows an editor, I would like to chop our show up in segments so we can start promoting like that. But that's why I love what those things represent is, hey, I get to the point, I make my point and I'm done. Right. And people
learn now.
Yeah, but their attention spans is very short, right? Like so listen to us for 2 hours and then try to skip through the parts, or you just put it all in one.
You know what? You sent me a video too. I'm gonna get at it tomorrow. I meant to get at it, but then I forgot till just now. But yeah, I'm gonna see what I could do with that.
Yeah. Shabak, I seen you call him, but I was playing Kamar's video. So, but no, and that's not even. I gotta play some of the funnier ones. When I get ready to go through them, because some of them cracked me the fuck up. Like I just would be laughing. So I'm gonna start kind of like intermingling that into. That's what I'm saying. Outlaw Radio is about to change because I got to start using some of the capabilities I have, to do other things to make the show more dynamic. So that'll be a part of it. But yeah. So, and that in addition to doing some live stuff, which I really got to sit down and get to the nuts and bolts. With shout out to Antonia Anderson at the Hip Hop Museum. She, like I said, has told me that if we want to come and do some live stuff from there, it's all good. But if I ever get an editor, look out. I'm trying to tell you, you won't be able to stop seeing Outlaw Radio clips. I don't care what social media platform they'll be popping up everywhere. So, so we'll look at that. Shabak, you can give me a call in now. I did want to say this, paying attention to the fact that now Facebook is removing the fact checkers. Y'all seen this, right? So like in the whole point of this was supposed to have been, and a long time ago, somebody taught me how to actually eliminate fact checkers. And I used to know how to do it because you could go and try. I forgot after all this time because when I first started doing the show, and I started the People's News Network, I would always get fact checkers coming in flagging my group. And so I started figuring out how to get rid of them, because you can't kind of filter them out. But he's the Facebook, what's his name? Walkberg, what's his name? What's the white boy? Was he? I can't remember.
I know
what's
you. I know you.
Yeah, he's saying they're getting rid of the fact checkers, and that they're in an effort to make people, because they realized they were like, if you ever gotten just like an old ass notification like, oh, your content has been taken down, you'd be like, what the fuck? Why would they take this down? Zuckerberg, there you go, brain fart. Zuckerberg, right? And he's saying like they realized that a lot of people who didn't deserve to be flagged or restricted were, and that the way the fact checkers went about it was flawed, the way that they screened things. So, and he even said that a lot of people were persecuted for political opinions about certain things or social criticism that shouldn't have been. And so their messages were basically censored and suppressed. So supposedly now there's going to be a much more thorough kind of thing with how they determine who they go after and who they flag. So I'm glad that that's going to be done. But people are saying this is due to the pressure that Trump and Elon Musk put on him. And Trump was always saying, you know, fake news, and they're putting these narratives out here. And but the funny part is Trump still got his message out. And a lot of people who weren't even saying shit as crazy as he was did get flagged. So maybe there could be a benefit to this. I know Mama Jenkins has complained about some of the things she said in the chat room and was instantly flagged. So I'm hoping that this will be something that will contribute to, you know, more freedom of speech, right? Like, because I'm always in favor of that. Shabaka, what's going on, man? You hit us at the end of the show. How you doing, man? What's going on?
Okay, I'm doing fine. Greetings from Sin City. Like I said, man, you all are starting to realize, man, is that it takes 6 guys to carry a man to his grave and only 1 woman to put him there. Okay, you're starting to realize that because you get a lot of these damn drama queens out there that just doing this shit for attention. So therefore, when she brings up the other dude that she's seeing, ask that motherfucker, hey man, how do my dick taste? And get ready to whip his ass is because he's gonna throw a punch at you. You see what I mean? Now, I'm not saying all women is bad. Hell, the majority of them is beautiful. But then you got a lot of women that want to seek attention just to have the attention. So they might have had some trauma, you know, in their youth, or probably have seen their mother go through some drama. You know what I'm saying? You know, like how the men get up there and say, oh, well, man, I got a baby by the mama. You got a baby by the same mama. So the kids are siblings or what have you, then these guys is fighting over the attention of this woman. What you need to do, bring your ass out here to Las Vegas, get you a boxing license, man, and go fight for some goddamn money. Now, the way how you make out in it, man, it's rough. You know what I mean? Instead of killing each other over bullshit. And like I said, man, it takes 6 guys to carry a man to his grave and only 1 woman to put him there. But there are a lot of good women out there. You see what I'm saying? There are a lot of good black women out there that have been fucked over by these no good motherfuckers. You know, we got 3 and 4 mamas going with other kids, and he's spending the majority of his life in a damn penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people have been there, you know. But if they're doing something good when they come out, that's great, that's beautiful, and try to set the example for the generations after us. Hey, man, going to jail ain't all that, man. You could do a whole lot more positive with that energy. You see what I'm saying? Because you see it in Milwaukee, you see it in Chi-Town, you damn sure see it in Los Angeles, and you're seeing a lot of it up there in the Bay Area. Because this is this systemic Trump regime getting ready to come in. It's not a presidency, it's a regime. This motherfucker, what is he? 39 convicted felons, 35 convicted felons, and they swearing him in as the next damn president, man. So we got a tidal wave coming our way, black family. And all we got is each other. Let's reach out to one another. Because, hey, man, that brother that you're killing might be the soldier you need to watch your back. Because these goddamn white supremacists are coming, brother, and that ain't no bullshit. And that's real talk.
Gotcha. Any updates on the fires out there in California?
Yes, sir. It's getting all bad. Okay, the fires have spread up into Ventura County. Okay, so they're talking about the situation with the water. They're saying that they cannot go out to the Pacific with the super scoopers to pick up the water because they're getting real high winds that's getting ready to come down in there, and that's what feeds the fire. Because you remember when we was little in school, man, the firemen come up there and tell you, well, you got the fuel, you got the heat, and you got the air. That is the fire triangle, so you got to break the triangle, meaning more water on the fire. Meaning them cats out there in the penitentiaries in California slinging that dirt, man, on them fires as they coming up them hills. They all need to have their sentences reduced, man, because that is some hard work. Also, too, man, they're coming down on the governor of California as well as they should, Bruce Newsom. I'm saying it, man, for myself, Shabaka Sankora, you ain't shit. When you was the campaign manager of a friend of yours who was running for mayor of San Francisco, you was fucking his wife. So I don't have no respect for a motherfucker like that. You see what I mean? But so we're praying for him, man. You know what I'm saying? I know a couple of people, man, that I just found out recently in the last 24 hours that lost everything they had, man. And that shit hurts, man. That shit hurts. So they got a GoFundMe page set up for them. But I'm figuring, man, they need to be tapping all that revenue out of Hollywood and from them big-time movie-producing companies, man, to rebuild their houses, because that was the majority of the people who were staying out there. Okay, so far, man, it's not touched View Park, which is kind of like way south of east of Pacific Palisades, about 15 miles. That's kind of like the black version of Beverly Hills. And quite naturally, of course, they built Baldwin Hills and View Park on the top of old oil fields that they had out there in the 1940s. So you see how they were systemically doing them. So let's pool our resources, black family. You see what I'm saying? Let's build our own businesses. Yes, we could do it. You know, got to get more educated up here on this AI shit, man, because I got books all over this place, man, trying to get caught up on it. You know what I mean? And be careful with that shit, you know, and then I don't want to say nothing about COVID. I don't want to say nothing about vaccines because I don't want to get us all banned off of social media, because that's another thing that they're doing that I'm seeing at the dump as inhuman shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way, is that they're going to be trying all kind of manipulations with it, man, because he's got Zuckerberg up over there who runs Facebook, and I think the CEO, I forgot who it was that ran YouTube, they flagged me and Paris a whole lot of times. Then okay, too, and then you got the Stinky Bird Musk, who's going to be running shit. Now, the thing is about Stinky Bird, he is not an African. Once again, he is not an African, black family. He is a boy. He is black. Okay, so therefore, man, you know, he ain't no African. Don't even give him that. They hate us, black family, because they cannot see us. And then to all you crackers out there that hate Shabaka's Black Experience and Hank, that hate Frontline Black News this summer, that starts in June, come out here and sit out here in the sun with me. But Mr. White Man and Mr. White Woman, you got to leave your sunscreen at home and then leave some directions right here what to do with your ass, because we don't hate you. We'll go call the paramedics from you with an anonymous phone call. Hey, you got one of your woods out here, man, flying in this sun. And then I'm going back off to enjoy my melanin, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right. All right. I hear you.
You know, this is the real, man, being an old bastard, man. You know, like I said, Kev, you talking about 50? Hell, man, I wish the hell I was still 50, man. Wait till you get 60. You know what I'm saying? It starts getting worse. So keep taking care of yourself while you're young. And as far as our youth going to college, yeah, definitely take up some athletics and along with the academics. The academics is to keep your mind in shape, but also, too, the athletics is to keep your body in shape and start building our own businesses, man. You know what I'm saying? Quit giving our talents to these white folks. And then what's going to happen as the black businesses build up, because I think there was a black businessman got hit with this shit in Chicago. Well, you're not hiring enough afterwards. You're not hiring enough of other groups. You know, we need diversity, equality, and inclusion. But keep in mind, black family, we only make up less than 25% of the whole population of the United States. So why the hell can't we build something for ourselves? That's not hatred, man.
You can't do that.
Why that?
You cannot do that. Because that's the violation of the civil rights. White folks can learn that shit. I'm telling you cannot do it.
Oh, okay, bruh. I agree with you saying, what you are correct. You're talking about the civil rights and voting rights of 1965. But we can do it clandestinely. And what do I mean by clandestinely?
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, clandestinely. See, so what it is, man, we got to have some off the air conversations, man, some strategy sessions. You see what I mean? Set up the black-owned business, man, in another community, and then get your general manager that represents from that motherfucker, man, and then have the black family that owns it build, and go on and duplicate the process and get our own people up there in the managerial parts where we can make livings and enjoy profit sharing and what have you. You know what I'm saying? And then like Kev was saying, like with me too, going to colleges out here in the West. Man, what's your GPA like? Man, well, what kind of experience you got? Okay, so therefore, man, it would probably be better to go to vocational colleges or like for your first 2 years, get you some vocational experience. And I believe, Kev, that you can transfer those units, man, into a 4-year institution.
You can.
Go pick up your degree, man, from Northwestern University.
Well, look,
go pick up your degree from USC and UCLA.
The biggest thing is this.
But, you know,
the biggest thing is this.
You know, because
it's not really about liberal arts education. I think that's a misnomer as well. They think that the only way to educate yourself is to go to some liberal arts college. That's why the availability of vocational schools and whatnot are here. And here we have Milwaukee Area Technical College, which we just talked about, where the racism is reared its ugly head. But look, it's 10 o'clock. I got to get out of here. Kamar, what you got coming up this weekend?
The House of Vitality all week. If you ain't been there, get there.
Okay. Shabaka, when is your next show? When is your next show?
Okay, we're in the process, man, of revitalizing. So Jesse, he's pretty much man in charge of, doing the STREAMYARDs, is because we're taking it to STREAMYARD now. And we'll be more than happy, man, to shoot you the link, get with us with an email address so we can send it to you and then let us know when you're available. And I'm sure Jesse wouldn't have no problem scheduling the show, man, when we get a lot on there, because I think Jesse said we up to have about 6 slots now. We did a StreamYard last night, man. That was pretty good. And then also, too, I want to say this here. The mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, was more of a figurehead. Now, they trying to make her the scapegoat because of no water going to the fires. The fire department was under budget and all that old shit. But what it is that it's the commissions of the various departments. From water and power, the fire department, man, wrecking parks and what have you. And if memory serves me correct, man, I think they would have anywhere from 5 to 7 commissions. So they got a vote on every goddamn thing. You see what I mean? So she really needs to put it out there, man, is that they're using her as a scapegoat, right? And it's the powers with the commissions. And by the way, Gavin Newsom, you ain't shit, you lousy motherfuckers, because when you had the pandemic going on and shut down California, your punk ass was up there in the Napa Valley.
Hold on, Shabaka. Dion, I want to shout you out because you've been on consecutive nights this week. You out of town? You sundown town in this weekend with your boo? What you got going?
No, I'm chilling. I mean, she's supposed to be coming up here though. I'm chilling. I ain't doing nothing though. I'll probably be going to South Carolina. I think I talked to you about that. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be going to South Carolina maybe in March or sometimes. Okay. Go down there, get some of that Geechee gully culture. You know, anytime I leave the state, I try to learn something about it, especially when I go down south. But other than that, I ain't gonna do nothing. I might shoot up to the House of Vitality and give me an old smoothie or something, just to shoot the shit with bull and be aggressive on some of them women there.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Well,
listen,
them Southern girls, boy, they mighty fine down there, brother. I tell you, man, because when I travel through the South, man, I couldn't stop looking at the beautiful black goddesses. You know what I'm saying?
So listen, y'all, hold on. We're about to get out of here. Listen. I want y'all to understand,
Yeah.
especially if you're from Milwaukee, because we talk about black businesses all the time. And one of the businesses
Right.
that has been lost this past week was Coffee Makes You Black. And it's in the People's News Network. I guess it's actually been closed since August. And a lot of people had different opinions on why the business failed, but they did have a run because they had been around about 10 years. And it's just a shame that, and there was people even talking about the location and customer service had gotten bad and the wait. I just know one time I went in there and the first 3 things I ordered, they didn't have. And so I was kind of like, okay, what?
Right.
But then the second time I went in there with shout out to Tierman Spencer, who at that time was the first black elected city attorney. We had breakfast. The food was great. The service was great. There was a bunch of black men meeting in there about pertinent community issues, a bunch of black men who are leaders. And so it was a beautiful experience. And I just want y'all to say or understand that, business is business. It's a tough economy. If something as large as these corporate entities that we see going out of business every day are falling by the wayside, why would you think that a small black man trying to operate a business is not just because he was bad or the business was bad? It's how business is right now. So we just got to get past that, and we got to stop letting them try to dictate to us, what's what. So I will see y'all Monday. Jesse said that y'all will be on Friday morning at 10 a.m. But once again, I want people in the community to focus on us and start to understand what this delineation movement is all about. And like I said, if we don't speak up, we can't expect somebody else to speak up on our behalf. We got to be vocal. We got to be aggressive. And in the meantime, we got to be active, because if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, you are a coon. I will see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love. Thanks for tuning in.
I agree. I contributed a lot to the community, man, in my 60 plus years. All right, Outlaw.